what is best for business.
What? Yes! Yes!
What? Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out! Watch out!
More.
What? Viva la raza!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Welcome to episode 10 of Under the Ring, the podcast that will tell you what you want to know, what you need to know, and hope to know about the WWE. We'll give you news, theories, and predictions to Raws and pay-per-views past and present. You can follow us on Twitter at Under the Ring 1, on Facebook at Under the Ring Radio, and on the YouTube at Under the Ring Radio. I'm your host, Gasper, alongside Matt,
What's going on?
Vinay,
Hey there.
and Dan.
What's up?
Now, what the fuck is this? Danny's here?
Finally, I have come back to the podcast.
For this week only.
Sorry.
And guess what? Me and Dan were right. That's right. The Undertaker, earlier on last week, has announced that it is not over yet.
Why?
You wanna know why?
We don't think he's coming back with that song. I'm just letting you know.
No, it's just, it's
Yeah.
one of the better
It's
songs.
nostalgic.
And he's coming back as the American Badass.
Oh, Vanda. No, never mind.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
To put over Bray Wyatt.
Yes!
So we're just gonna make the Undertaker a cheesy guy now who's gonna put over guys.
Cheesy guy?
Yes.
He's a fucking Undertaker.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's gonna get his ass kicked by every
How
single
many
guy
years
who
did he
loses.
not put anyone
Lose.
over?
21? No, not even 21.
But not his choice,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, to build that.
He put over Brock Lesnar for what fucking reason?
And he's leaving in 3 months?
Yep,
or a
he's
little
gone
less.
after WrestleMania. He ain't coming back. He
Nope.
ain't coming back.
Nope.
Because Brock Lesnar's a piece of fucking shit.
Go back
Well,
to
no,
UFC where
he's
it goes.
awesome.
No, I mean, he's good as he's good as a heel, but if you're working as a champion, be full-time.
He's preparing for UFC. He's preparing to go back to the duel.
UFC.
That's not his fault that WWE can't pay his contract.
Come on, really?
They can't pay for that. Big money.
If you love the business,
He doesn't love the business. He never did. Just get over that.
It was never about money with him. It was never about the business with him. It was about the money.
As my first rant back, there's no way he'd come back full time regardless because he's too old for it. Too old for it.
He doesn't like being on the road. He likes being on his farm and just
hanging out with
Nice
Sable with a couple cows and
Yep.
sheep.
Coors Light.
Which
he
he
loves
lifts
that.
over his head to work out. That's his daily workout.
And lift these up and put the
That's
Put on the cows. He bench presses cows.
She's got like 10 years at least on him, but you know, she's probably still hot. But
hey,
I'm gonna find this out. I'm gonna look for this picture.
me
of
and Dan
Sable.
told you guys the Undertaker wasn't done.
Fuck you.
I'm
no,
pretty
you should
sure-
look for the picture of Undertaker holding Sable back in the day. You took my streak, but I took. Or was it?
I took your bitch.
No, was it?
You took a streak.
The one that got with the one.
Yeah.
21 and 1. That's what it was.
Fantastic. What do you guys think about this?
No, that's good. I want to see him again.
Undertaker's back.
He can't go out like
Ben,
that.
what do you think?
Why?
Danny, what do you think?
No, but why? I mean, no, seriously. The streak is over.
He should go out like
Why
that?
not?
Was
Streak
that
is
the way to
over.
go out?
Because I was going to love to lose.
I will give you a reason why not. Do you really want to see Undertaker lose 2 WrestleManias in a row?
Yep.
Yes.
Who says he's going to lose?
No, he won't lose, but
And
the
that's-
streak's over.
guess
You're
that's-
not-
He doesn't have to lose to put over Bray Wyatt. Just being in a match with The Undertaker is making him a
Automatically
more
Bray
key
Wyatt.
guy.
Not anymore. Not anymore. When Undertaker wrestles literally once a year. If you have
That's
feud
still
with the
that's
Undertaker,
more and more.
I agree with Matt. There's for me, Undertaker having one last match is pointless. If you watch the last match, you can tell he cannot wrestle anymore.
No.
As sad
No.
as that makes
He was
me
knocked
feel.
out. He had a concussion. He didn't know
Yes.
where the hell he was. That's bullshit.
Even before that happened, you watch the whole match in its entirety. You can tell the man does not.
He's not a
belong in
good
the ring.
wrestler anymore. No, I'll admit that. But you can hold on to that. How many years did Hogan wrestle where he wasn't a good wrestler?
Hogan's still
His whole career!
He stopped wrestling like 2 years
His
ago.
whole career he wasn't a good wrestler. What about The Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania? How old was he? And he's
But Hogan doesn't have a reputation of 22 years of WrestleMania.
Oh, that's right. He was just a big
No,
piece
he
of
just-
WWE for 30
He
years.
was just WrestleMania 1. What do you mean he doesn't have a reputation of WrestleMania?
He body slammed Andre the Giant.
He doesn't have a streak, does he?
He can come back. He can come back next
he
week,
lose
be
at
in a tag team match, and it'll be okay. Taker comes back in a tag team match. What's he? Here
Hogan never lost.
Team match.
Hogan lost
Hogan can
clean
be
once
on
at
Raw
WrestleMania.
and SmackDown
Warrior.
regularly.
That was it.
Look, at this point,
Wait, hold on. Repeat what you just said.
Hogan lost clean at WrestleMania once.
Weird.
Ultimate
Did-
Warrior.
How many WrestleManias did The Undertaker lose?
look,
Well, actually, no, I forgot. Sorry, he put over Rock when he came back. But back in the day, I'm talking.
But that's passing the
look
torch.
at this point,
You're not passing the torch to
we
Brock
have
Lesnar.
we have all seen the picture of Mark Calloway, what he looks like now. If
doesn't
that
matter.
is
Aged, I'm sorry. Whoa, that's
if
weird.
that is legitimately what this man looks like, not just on a bad day.
Hell,
If
doesn't
this
matter.
man comes back to the ring, he is going to get physically hurt.
He looked
I
in
do
decent
not wanna
shape
s-
going
I
into
do-
WrestleMania. He looked in decent shape.
I
gotta
do not
admit.
want to see my idol, the man that I have rooted for my entire life, go into a match to watch him
let me
lose.
tell you something.
He's a dead
I
man.
don't
You can't
wanna
kill
see
him,
it.
all right?
you say the way he looks right now is concerning you.
Terrible.
I'll be halfway damned if I look that good at 49 years old.
Yeah.
You should be grateful you look that good now.
Yeah, right. 24. Holy shit!
I
I
don't
got
know.
his beer gut going for me, and
Look, the picture that I
Not
see,
good facial hair.
the picture that I saw of him in what looked like an airport.
Yeah.
The man looked like he was 94. And the man looked like he was 94.
he was praying. He,
ready.
I don't care
ready.
because at WrestleMania he doesn't look 94 when he comes out. He doesn't.
But it doesn't take
I
away.
want to know why he probably hasn't been, working out this and that because
How?
it's not WrestleMania season yet. Now is WrestleMania
They're
season.
saying that
This is
Bray
when
Wyatt
Taker gets
beating
back.
Dean Ambrose clean
He even
is a
said it-
signal that Bray Wyatt's going to face
He
Undertaker.
even said it on Monday night. He goes, "I don't know what's next in store for me. Like, what is going on? Like,
So why
They're
automatically
building
is
Bray
it
Wyatt
Taker?
for that.
that's what I'm saying. It's Taker.
Why?
It may not happen
the
this
only
year,
thing that
but I
makes
think
sense.
that's the plan.
I could
if
think of a lot
Undertaker's
of
healthy.
reasons why not. Bray Wyatt has not, to this point in time, has not proved to me that he deserves a match with.
He
with
beat
Wyatt.
Ambrose
But
5 times.
Dean Ambrose loses every fucking
Yeah, Dean
pay-per-view.
Ambrose-
he beat Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. He beat John Cena on pay-per-view. What else did he do?
John Cena also won that series of fights.
He won the series.
So
John
did-
Cena wins
It's
every
John
series.
Cena!
Come
So
on.
did,
He won the
what's
series
his
with
name?
Randy Orton. The
So
10
did,
matches.
so did Daniel Bryan win that series of matches.
Bray
How about Bray
Wyatt
Wyatt?
might up until
He
this
beat him at
point
Royal Rumble.
look
That was the
like
only
he
pay-per-view
might
match they had.
deserve that kind of shot, but no way in hell does he deserve to be in a caliber of a
deserves.
match with
Let me
a
ask you
person.
something.
But
as
first you're
Joker.
saying he shouldn't come back, and now you're saying it's the caliber match. But if he
I
has
don't
no
think he should-
value,
I
he
don't
has value. Though.
I don't think he should come back.
Let
to
me just
Raw.
ask you
Chris
guys
is doing
something.
his thing.
He has.
When was the
value.
last time Bray Wyatt lost a match on TV?
He probably never did on TV.
He hasn't.
He probably never
He
had.
lost at Tribute to the Troops, who every fucking face in the company.
That's not real. Like
If Zack Ryder was on the card, he would have won.
probably.
That's my point right there. Bray Wyatt is being built up for the Undertaker.
But immediately when Bray Wyatt debuted, you saw this guy with this creepy gimmick, and I was like, I want to see him with
Undertaker.
Undertaker.
Instantly.
Immediately.
I
It
think
should.
we all said it at
I
the
think
same
it should have
time.
happened last year.
At,
It would have been too much to give Bray Wyatt that win that soon. That would have been
Too
too
early.
much. Yes.
I mean,
But Brock Lesnar was not the right choice.
No, I don't think
But
so.
see,
But you know the pulling me.
You're a Brock Lesnar lover.
I
You
am.
would S his D if he was standing right in front of you.
I
He's
would-
a hired gun. He's
I
a
would say
mercenary.
that-
You don't give
But
a
even
wrestling
Paul,
history
even
to a
Paul Heyman
mercenary.
has said it himself on this Monday. Brock Lesnar is the only guy who actually has won the NCAA Wrestling Championship.
Kurt Angle.
Hold
He
on.
didn't win that.
WWE. Hold on.
Go ahead.
And wait for it. UFC. All three.
I don't
He
think he
has
won the
won.
NCAA championship, Kurt Angle, anyways. But
I'm not sure about
I don't
that
think
was
so.
Kurt Angle.
But he won the Olympic gold medal with a broken
Yes, he
finger.
did. With the broken finger neck. But Lesnar is an accomplished
But I
wrestler.
don't care. It's about what you do in WWE. In WWE, he came
Lesnar, when he
for.
first came out, he was the
He
most-
was in WWE for less than 2 years.
and he was one of the most
He left to
fascinating
go be a
things.
football player. It was-
Come on, Minnesota Vikings.
that was
Yeah.
bad. That was bad.
That was bad, but then he went on to dominate UFC.
Yeah, but
No.
what does that have to do with anything of what he did in the ring when he was here?
He
When
dominated everyone.
He was the most dominating force in the WWE.
Because he was booked to
No,
dominate.
no,
because he
it
looked
wasn't
like a
that.
beast.
Not even
still.
that. He was able to carry Big Show, a guy who, even on a a good day, weighs no less than 450 pounds.
So we're gonna just hire
Probably
weightlifters.
Can I just
Let's
say?
hire weightlifters.
Can I just say after Paul Heyman did that whole Brock Lesnar got this, Brock Lesnar almost calling out Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle did tweet at Paul Heyman
Yeah, I saw that.
saying,
I
"Hey,
didn't see that.
do your homework. NCAA champ,
Okay.
He was? Oh, okay.
WWE title, check.
I knew that. Of
Okay,
course.
he's got 2 out of 3. But does Brock Lesnar have a gold medal?
No.
He does not. I will agree with that. But at least Lesnar went into a sport.
At
where
least,
no competition.
with a broken freaking neck.
UFC is not a sport. That's not a sport.
I'll make this. I'll
That's
make,
a
I'll
fight.
make
That's
this
not a sport.
relatively an easy argument here. If you had to choose between Brock Lesnar and anyone else on that roster, who do you think would win a match?
Against who?
Like I said, anyone on the roster at that point. You put Brock
I would have
Lesnar
put Daniel
first to
Bryan
first.
above him at WrestleMania 30.
Are you
Yes.
joking? In my opinion, I don't care how over Daniel Bryan is. Brock Lesnar in a match would destroy Daniel Bryan.
You don't think Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista could and won the same night?
No. You put him in a singles match against Brock Lesnar, he will decimate all.
How is he booked?
That's what's happening at WrestleMania 31.
Let me ask a question, though.
No, it should have happened at SummerSlam.
Let me ask this question. Are you referring to in real life scenario or WWE?
No, I'm talking about WWE.
Real life
Even if you put him,
Now, they would give Daniel Bryan the win over Brock Lesnar.
even still, if you didn't have any of the hype between the guys, didn't have the hype. and-
Okay, but it's not a real fight. We can't say that.
Hold on. If you're going real fight, yes.
I put Andre the Giant and the Big Show against anyone then.
No,
or Kane.
That's what I'm saying. If it's real life, the Big Show should dominate.
Yeah,
No, in real life, I actually think Lesnar could take
No,
the
no,
He actually knows how to fight.
no.
No, he's
I-
got. Wait,
I-
The Big Show's 7 feet tall.
Right now, no.
That has nothing
Right
to
now,
do with
yes.
the guy
Right
who
now,
knows how
yes.
to
I'm saying right now.
Right now,
I'm
yeah.
saying right
Big
now,
Show in his prime, though, no.
Oh no, Big Show back in 2000.
Big Show in his prime,
when he
nobody's
first came
fucking.
out.
Big Show-
Nobody's
No.
fucking.
Okay, we need to go back to the Undertaker for 5 seconds. Now, you guys said that if you would love to see Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker, and you said last year it should
I
happen.
would have loved to see
Always
it.
want to
Now,
see it.
wait,
Gimmicks are made for each other.
It's gonna happen regardless.
Go ahead.
Now, you said last year you would love to see it happen. You would love to see it happen as soon as Bray Wyatt debuted because, the promos and all the ringing action, fine. Now, if they fought last year, I would have been okay with it because that would have been a good fight. Streak on the line, great fight. And then he loses to Lesnar, next one, and into retirement, fine. That's the way I would have booked it. But for him to be against Taker, against a pointless match because there's no streak.
Why is it pointless?
What is Taker want to come back for? What is Taker
That's one of the biggest legends in WWE history. It's not
Why can't
pointless.
Taker just retire?
Doesn't matter.
Why can't Taker just
He's
retire?
retiring next year in San Antonio, his hometown.
No, I understand. Listen,
Please have one more match.
Yes,
It's dumb.
I understand that he's a legend. But if you really look at the Undertaker's career, for as long as it's lasted, and I am a diehard Taker fan.
Okay.
Do not take this as any
You're going to talk about
disregard.
titles.
I am going to speak about titles.
He
'cause
didn't need to win a title because he had the greatest gimmick in wrestling. He could carry a
but
feud.
The thing was, his streak was the biggest part of him. If you look at
gimmick
a
was the biggest
20-year plus career,
And another streak.
this guy had 4 titles.
Don't get me wrong, I could be wrong on this,
No.
but his streak really didn't get that important till about
21 or 22.
No, it was about.
maybe
it was about,
18.
No, when Randy
no,
Orton was
no,
the legend killer and he was facing him at 21, I think that's when they
It
probably...
wasn't 21 because Lesnar was 20. He's the one in 21 and 1.
No, at WrestleMania.
Oh, 21. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the
No,
number
no.
of streaks.
Undertaker didn't start till...
There's 9 matches
7.
we all missed.
WrestleMania 7, I think.
I agree. No,
He
it
faced
was-
Jimmy
yeah.
Snuka.
No, Randy Orton was the first real important one.
Yes.
That was still 15, 16, 17 on the streak, technically.
But still, every match though was
That
like the
was-
next.
oh,
and
fuck.
they always put legends
13, I
and
think.
future Hall of
Any
Famers against
person
them.
you put the Undertaker against, it's an honor to fight the
I
Undertaker.
agree, but not to the point where it's going to build you.
Whether or not you go over the tape,
It doesn't
Undertaker
matter.
or not, it doesn't matter because you wrestled the
No,
Undertaker.
I agree with you.
The Undertaker
but now,
having
no.
interaction with the Shield on Raw and SmackDown that time.
Powerbomb
That
through
put
the
them
table.
over. That put them over.
That's what put Undertaker out like that.
That put them over.
Because it was his yard, and they took it from him, yes.
No, when... when Undertaker came out with Daniel Bryan and Kane, and there was the Shield, and there was that confrontation on the Raw after WrestleMania.
Fucking awesome.
That made the Shield. That made everybody there. Daniel Bryan, just for being in the ring with the Undertaker. So
Absolutely.
I would have
100%.
if the Undertaker can move, I would have him at the next 3 WrestleManias.
And he will. Except, I don't know about the next 3, but...
No, he'll be done by
I'm
after
exaggerating.
this one. He'll be
but
done.
No, I don't.
If he wrestles after this one,
He might.
and after saying that,
He
now
might wrestle at
really-
this one.
No, he needs to be
might wrestle-
honored. He needs to be honored. in San
But
Antonio.
everybody
That's
that
it.
wants to see Sting versus Undertaker, like because
No,
the gimmicks, like
that
the dark
never
side,
needs
like
that. That
It's
can never
not-
why not just have Bray Wyatt, the young guy?
How would you choose who wins that match against Sting versus Bray
It's
Wyatt?
not gonna-
Sting versus
It's not going to
Undertaker, sorry.
happen.
That
I'm saying if it did.
Undertaker would win.
Should have happened 10 years
You
ago.
have the quote unquote icon Sting.
No.
Versus
It's
the
very
redneck,
simple.
the legendary.
If you look back in history, the WWE guy always beats the WCW guy. That's how they booked it always. Mm-hmm. The Invasion after that, those guys didn't do that much.
No, nothing.
They may have won,
We were talking
but
about it last night.
Booker T
After
is
Booker
probably
T-
the only guy. Who
Booker
did
T
it.
eventually though, like he lost to guys. You know what I mean? He never had that big WrestleMania moment or anything like that.
But what can I say? We don't know. It's... I
He might not wrestle at this WrestleMania.
He might
I think
not.
that's the plan. I think they
But I
want
have a
to.
feeling he's going to wrestle this WrestleMania. Maybe next WrestleMania
I think he'll be
as a
honored.
retirement match.
I don't think so. I think he'll be. You know when they do the Hall of Fame thing during mid section of WrestleMania, that's when they're gonna honor him. He's gonna wrestle this one, and then that'll be it. Then he'll be honored in San Antonio for 32.
I can
That's
see that.
possible.
That's it.
I
He's
can
gonna.
see that.
You know when they call everybody, oh the inductees. That's when he's gonna call it. Get the standing ovation. That's it. He's done. There's no reason for you
Well,
to
Who do,
wrestle in San
who do you
Antonio.
guys think had to introduce him for his induction? By the way, when he
Kane.
finally goes in,
It's gotta be
You think
Kane.
Kane?
It can't be. I mean,
It's gotta be Kane.
It's either going
He'll
to be
introduce
Kane.
himself.
It's either be Kane or
Vince.
Or
I
Vince.
can't even-
Vince.
I didn't see Vince doing it.
I
could see
think it's Vince.
I was going to say Paul Heyman's son,
And
but
that's-
Paul Heyman's son passed away a couple
Yeah.
months ago. So
Paul Heyman's son.
No,
Paul Bear's son, yeah.
I was
He's
going to say
not-
Paul
he's not
Heyman had a
WWE
son who
figure,
died.
but, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't
it's
know.
just out of respect for Bear.
Bill still
No,
can't respect him.
that I would have seen. Yeah, if it,
I
I
would've
would
been okay with it.
fucking love
He's
to see
already in
that.
the Hall of Fame.
Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but I'm saying like
he's gotten the respect. You know
but
what I mean?
Taker and Paul Bearer have that
connection.
connection.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I-
I have a feeling it's going to be.
It has to be Kane. There's really no Vince. I mean, Undertaker.
Vince
It's either
Vince.
Vince. It's either.
Well, I would be shocked if Vince because I mean, Kane has
What
more
if they just throw a
history.
curveball? It's Brock Lesnar.
Paul Heyman.
There's nobody else that would. It couldn't be any other wrestler because there's nobody that like started in 1990 and stayed with WWE the whole time like him.
Well,
so-
technically,
And
I
Kane's
think
been
the
part of his
closest
career,
guy I
you
think
know,
you would say
so-
is Triple H. To that statement, saying like started in the '90s and stayed almost their entire career. The only guy I think that you could
Yeah.
give the credit to is Triple H.
Or they could go with a Shawn Michaels. They could.
Yeah, I wouldn't appreciate it as much as Kane though, because Kane was supposed to
No,
be his
Kane's
brother.
been- it has to be
Yeah, but
Kane
that's just
because-
a gimmick. That's just like
No, but it has to
I know.
be Kane because Kane's been
Brothers
with.
of Destruction.
Yeah, he's been doing his entire
yeah,
career.
but didn't Kane
so.
induct someone last year? Who was it?
He did Drew Carey like
Yeah.
3 years ago. Stupid.
No, I think he did someone last year.
No.
I don't think.
I don't think so.
That sounded wrong.
My question is, I don't always watch the Hall of Fame ceremony. I don't always watch the Hall of Fame ceremony, but does Vince McMahon has he ever inducted
I think he inducted Pete Rose.
Yes.
He inducted Pete Rose. That's who it was.
No.
himself? Like I'm saying, Vince.
Vince
actually
inducted
said-
Donald Trump, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was there for
Because they
that.
had that feud together.
I was there at that one. I shouldn't remember.
I was just gonna ask because I don't remember Vince ever actually.
Yeah,
doing
and
it.
I think he inducted somebody else. I forgot who.
Yeah, it was
I'm
Pete
Pretty
Rose.
sure
It was
he
Pete
had.
Rose.
Pretty sure it was Pete Rose.
And it was Drew Carey.
Was it Vince? Did Vince gonna do?
I think it
something?
was Vince.
What?
Stone Cold.
I
Yeah,
think it was
Vince.
Vince.
That was Vince.
Yeah,
So-
that's the only other one.
We need the Raw.
Hey, speaking of Hall of Fame,
We do?
the Macho Man.
I love that, but now that we're talking about that, let's just go there for a quick second. That Hulk Hogan's going to induct Macho Man. I'm not.
I don't like that. I don't.
They
like
were
that
not
whatsoever.
friends for
No.
most of
Nope.
their lives.
I hate it. I don't.
So you're going
No.
with a storyline because they were friends and they
They were
know,
tag team partners.
and then they had a lot
Don't
of
like it
feuds.
whatsoever.
I don't like that because
if
he did not
the
like
Ultimate
Hulk Hogan.
Warrior passed away before he was inducted into the
He
Hall
would
of
not want
Fame,
Hulk Hogan,
Hulk Hogan would have been the guy to do it,
probably, and he would not like that.
and Ultimate Warrior would have fucking been pissed about that.
No, see, I'm not a fan of that.
No, I completely.
So do you
agree.
guys think should be doing the induction?
Stephanie McMahon.
I mean, go. You have.
her do her
I mean, we're gonna talk about. some matches later, perhaps later on the
I
show.
have
but
I have my guy that I would like to.
I think I would go with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Absolutely.
Because that's the
Exactly.
greatest match that he's had, and that everybody knows.
Absolutely.
People that are wrestling now, they think of as the greatest match when they were growing up. They think of that. Like, that inspired them to be wrestlers.
Yep.
So, like,
Hell, I watched that match twice today.
You spoke for all of us when you said that. Because I was
Yeah,
waiting to
absolutely.
see if I had an argument.
Yeah.
You just fucked me over for my Superstar of the Week. Thanks.
no, I'm not doing that.
No, my match, Superstar of the match.
Yeah, I didn't fuck you over, but yeah.
You did in a way, but it's okay.
No, it's okay. I'm with
But
you.
Hulk Hogan,
No, it shouldn't
the
be.
guy had
Hogan.
legitimate beef with him. I understand
Absolutely
that they were friends or whatever they made up, but
How do you know they made up?
that's what the story is.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, so Hulk Hogan made up with Ultimate Warrior also.
Quote unquote.
That's
Draws
what
also
he
broke
done,
his
yeah.
neck playing
See-
football with his family.
Come on.
See, no, Hulk Hogan should not be inducting Macho Man.
No, I totally disagree. But it's about time Macho Man's in there.
Yeah, I really think it
this
took
long.
Stone Cold to say something.
And he's the headliner.
I totally agree with you.
Because think of it, there was really no rumors or anything of Macho Man, and then Stone Cold said, "Hey, Macho Man, what's going on?" Vince's like, "It's going to happen," and all of a sudden,
Well, he
Vince
said
said,
every year,
the near future.
and then Vince is like, "Shit, we need to do it this year. We get called out on it. We need to do it now."
Every
Go.
year, though, people want Macho Man. It's been that way for like 10
It
years
has
at
been.
Look,
least.
he was one of the most iconic
I
popular guys. Is right.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
And
He
then
is,
the
he
fact
is in the
that-
top 5 of most popular wrestlers of all time, in my opinion.
I think even top three.
Not just in your opinion, everyone who the
The
Macho Man.
man, you didn't even have to watch wrestling.
Yep.
Just know who he is. You just go
You know
Slim
the
Jim.
sayings.
Just go to someone and go, "You know what Macho Man is?" They say no. They go, "Ooh yeah, the art of whoever it is."
the voice.
I mean,
immediately know who it is.
the fact that the man didn't really even need to change his voice for his promos or anything. He just talked.
Yeah, apparently that's how he was. That's how he
That
was
was a legend.
in life. The one thing that bothered me about the video package is, like, say if I was 12 years old and I never knew who Macho Man was and I watched that video package, I'd be like, okay, this is a guy in flashy outfits that made a lot of noise yelling and stuff. They didn't show anything about his wrestling. He's one of the best wrestlers.
Yeah.
He was the best wrestler of that era. Almost.
I would agree with you.
One of the
He
best
was,
wrestlers.
But I feel like maybe they'll build upon what they've been.
But they don't care. They're going for the entertainment aspect because he's the headliner. They're like, let's show him, you know.
Well, I mean, they got the Macho Man documentary coming out. So
Didn't they already have a DVD?
Maybe they have, but I
remember.
feel like they made a new one recently.
The one that's
I think
They showed on the
they
network.
announced it at the end of almost the end of Raw.
Well, they showed one on the network Monday night, so that was.
Yeah, I
pretty
watched
good.
it.
previews of the one.
Yeah, it was about 25 minutes. It was a
Thank you,
preview.
sure.
It was a preview. It was about 25 minutes. I watched it.
Oh,
But
that's a long-
still, it's kind of like he was one of the greatest people of our generation, but they don't really know him. What kind of insulted me was the whole every other superstar going with the "ooh yeah," because it kind of was like almost
Especially the
insulting,
ones
like,
that were like making fun of it.
yes, like almost like Kane, especially. Come on,
Well, no,
You know,
that was. I
kinda
enjoyed that.
I
the thing that pissed me
giggled,
over the
but
bell is going like, "Ooh yeah."
Yeah,
I don't like it.
No,
it was
fucking
kind of
stupid.
The
insulting.
best person was the Miz. The best
Yes.
person was the Miz.
I didn't like the way it was done. They announced it earlier in the day. Like, why couldn't I understand? They're like, "Ooh, let's get people to watch Raw so you
Oh,
can
we're
watch
going to
his
announce
video."
it later tonight. We're going to announce it later
It's
tonight.
not official.
Wait. Let's put a package that says expected.
That got me fucking so annoyed. Being like,
Seriously, they really think everybody watching the show is
build it
5
up
years
and
old.
write multiple
Expected.
articles. You're gonna build it up, do multiple articles and multiple slideshows, and be like, we're just kidding. He's not gonna be inducted. Like, how stupid are you?
Expected. But we have everybody impersonating him on Raw. Like,
So
fuck
dumb.
outta here. Like, it's...
The rumor is, the fuck your rumor.
No,
it's gonna happen.
The
It's
impersonations
gonna happen.
annoyed the crap out of me. It was almost like a disrespect to his memory. Like you see, like again, the Miz, yes, a couple of them. I mean, come on, Roman Reigns doing it. Just,
Well, I just feel like they cut it out.
I think he tried. I don't know.
no, Roman Reigns. I wanted to kick in the nuts for even doing.
One of
it.
the Usos got it.
Well, you probably just want to kick Roman Reigns in the nuts in general after hearing his promos, like most of us. We'll talk about it.
We'll get that. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to
Do
that.
we have
Well,
to talk about that one? Because I'm just gonna get really
let's
angry.
start with Raw. You guys
Oh,
said
what's that?
you guys said the pyro wasn't gonna last.
What do you mean?
It's still here. It opened up the show. Brock Lesnar had the pyro. Pyro's still a thing, man. Pyro is still a thing, and I'm glad it's a thing.
You were very excited about
Hey.
Pyro.
What do you guys think about the King being gone from Raw?
well,
Not happy.
I don't I'm indifferent. It's like I understand people are upset about it because he's been on Raw for so long. It's like he's been on Raw since like 1995, 94, commentating.
But you obviously know he's not the king anymore. I mean, he's still comic relief, but he doesn't have JR next to
But
him.
we're not losing the king entirely.
You got Booker T.
He's going
just
to
as wacky.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
don't
gonna have to watch
understand why you go.
But don't get me wrong. Being on SmackDown might be a good thing because SmackDown's now on Thursdays. He's with
What?
Tom Phillips and JBL,
No.
correctly?
Byron Saxton.
Byron Saxton. They both sound the same to me. But
They're not.
they're not the same person. I get that, but they whatever. King,
I think Matt and Danny sound alike, but not the same person.
yeah, they're not the same person. They sound
You
alike.
sound like them?
I don't
But
know.
King is still on the pay-per-views.
Yes.
He's still on the pay-per-views.
Yes.
So I mean, he
Because
gets
they're gonna
that.
keep a
you know?
bit of SmackDown
And
Raw
Booker T
like
is just
that.
as wacky as King with his.
Nah, I think
catchphrases.
I kind of like Booker T better.
I
might be the odd
Well,
man
now
out.
you're doing it later on, not 10 years later.
It's not that new to me. I listened to him when he was on SmackDown.
I'm with Gasper on this one.
Shucky,
I'm okay
shucky,
with Booker
quack,
T
quack.
being on the
Yeah, I don't
broadcast.
understand. He's one of
I
the
like
quack,
Booker
quack.
T. I'm okay with the King not being on Raw anymore because I felt like it was about time you moved away from him. That's just me because if you listen to the Raws for the last year,
Years.
you could tell he's the guy that's out of place between him, Michael Cole,
But
and JBL.
then again, who knows? It might just be a little thing,
Test.
like a test. Like you know how
They
JR
said JR
was on SmackDown for a while.
And a while, not a while.
Well, I mean,
That was a short
for the
experiment.
beginning of SmackDown, he was on SmackDown.
Oh yeah,
Well,
no, but
when
when
they
they
first- when they
brand,
first started doing
he got drafted to SmackDown when they had the brand thing,
Yeah.
and that didn't last. Just like Triple H on SmackDown.
That's true. That's very true.
I am
It didn't
personally
last.
okay with him not being
I
on
just
Raw
think,
anymore.
and it might be a thing, and then they might move Booker back. Which I like Booker T on the mic.
I hope the King is fine. Like with he's had some health issues. I hope that works out fine for him. But
I heard he was pretty sick actually.
yeah, he was in the hospital for a little bit. It wasn't like life threatening or anything
Yeah.
apparently, but. I hope he's fine with all that, but I really don't care if he comes back and commentates at all anymore. It's just
I just
it's just not the
I
same
think the whole
person.
commentary area needs a redo.
He doesn't.
But then again, I mean, according to Bleacher Report, they were told to step their game up,
Oh no!
as per Vinny.
Yeah.
But the thing with King is,
I read that.
Never gonna let this
the thing
happen.
with King is Booker T will give us entertainment.
Absolutely.
Like he's not gonna give us great.
But you still don't know if he's a heel or
Analysis?
babyface commentary.
But the problem with King is I feel like lately he hasn't given us great analysis
anything.
or great humor.
Nothing.
So what are you here for? You have to give us either humor or analysis.
Mhm.
You're not doing anything. JBL, Cole, and Lawler, they were just laughing at their own jokes the half the time that were not even funny, that nobody understood.
Do you really need a separation between being an analysis and comic relief? Because there is no analysis between the three of them. They don't call it the match.
No.
If you want analysis,
That's the problem with
If you
it.
want analysis, go to
No.
NXT.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
three of
seriously.
them as a team do not call matches. They just talk. They talk about random stuff. They don't talk about the match whatsoever.
No, it's really.
That's
it's
true,
really
but
bad.
if you go back and listen to JR and the King back in the day,
They did
there's
the
a
same
lot of
thing.
times where they did not talk about the moves, and they're going into storyline, and they're just so into character. It's like they were almost a part of the match. Like, they had their characters, and they were...
Well, you had JR, who was the face announcer, and you had Jerry the King, who was part of like Vince's crew. He was like JBL now, who's all sucking the dick of the
he was
world.
like-
They
he
don't
wasn't
have enough
bad.
personality to go to two announcers anymore. That's why they have
No,
that
that's what I'm
three.
saying. No, what I'm
It's,
saying is, back in the day, Jerry the King, back in the day, was all about Vince.
He was a tween.
No,
But he wasn't
It
as
was
bad.
all about Vince. Vince.
That's what I'm saying. It was all about
the
Vince.
heels.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Vince
I
McMahon
feel
at the
like
time was
he
the
was.
Yeah, but he wasn't as bad. JBL right now, I honestly,
JBL,
wanted
I
to
don't even
see-
consider a heel comment.
No, JBL's
I-
not heel content because he
he's
buries
still-
the Ascension, which I'll get to later. That's
He,
bullshit.
no, every time JBL speaks, he pisses
Yeah,
me off.
we have a lot to talk about on that one.
He pisses me off every time JBL
But
speaks.
I honestly can't blame him because it's probably the people in his ear.
He
I-
randomly decides to like faces.
I feel
Because
like
he's like, oh, I love that guy. Like, no.
And that's
you're
why
doing a job here.
it's
You can't
who's
be in
the-
between like
who's
that.
the heel commentator now? Is it Booker T? is it JBL because they were both going
Yeah.
on and off on heels
No, Booker
all
T-
Raw.
Booker T doesn't usually go for the heels. Usually,
He went for Rusev
And back
earlier
to
on
what
in the
you-
night.
Back to what you
Yes.
said.
I'm pretty sure he was talking about how Dean Ambrose was.
Oh, maybe it was Dean Ambrose. I'm sorry.
But back to
Yeah,
what you said about JBL, I mean, there was.
Stop.
I thought
You
you
fucked up.
said Rusev earlier.
I mean,
didn't
he
say
goes
Rusev.
back and forth. Look at what happened with Swagger. When Swagger was with Rusev, all right, you go, Jack. You represent America. He loses. Oh, you suck. Like, you can't do that. Like, you
Yeah,
can't.
beca-
You can't go
but
back
the
and
way-
forth. So,
see,
he
that-
got a lot of people though. He got
I
a
mean,
lot of
that's
people.
tricky because obviously he's an American.
all
They're
the
rooting for
fans
USA,
think
but-
if it was.
I wasn't pissed at Jack Swagger. I wasn't disappointed
that's
in
because
America. You know what I'm saying? He lost,
you
but America
know the
sucked.
difference between real life and kayfabe.
What?
You know
Kayfabe? What the hell's...
wrestling for.
What did you say?
You know the difference
Kayfabe.
between real and fake,
Oh, I thought he said something else. But...
right?
Yeah.
It's
Maybe I
JBL
did
trying
that.
to sell the storyline. JBL trying to say, "Hey, I want Jack Swagger. You have to win this for America. Oh, you lost. You suck. Like, why do I want you representing America? Right? It makes sense.
The commentators.
No, I'm not saying they're good. I'm saying bring up the NXT guys. The commentators.
What was that?
That was like my forehead between my pants. And
I'm glad everyone's
There
on
was like
the-
a
on the
Wookiee.
NXT train
Just
like I've been for the
sounded like
last
a
like
fucking
month
alien.
and a half.
All right, let's start off Raw. John Cena comes out, cuts a promo.
Ugh. Can I just say
You
something
can
right now?
start it off.
I'm going to start off right here and say, this is fucking stupid. Because you have the guy, for how long, never give up, says, I'm going to win the title, and I'm going to take it home, and you're not going to see it. Why the fuck?
Go home. Thanks,
Why
CM
the
Punk.
fuck would that be booked to be said? Why am I going to believe John Cena is going to take the title home and the Authority's not going to see the
He
title
wants
again?
his friends back.
That was the stupidest thing that
they're-
WWE has ever. That was
fucking-
planned. Why would John Cena threaten to take the belt home? That's such a heel move.
If
Why would he do that? I understand Brock
crying.
Lesnar's
He's
doing
upset.
that,
if there was
but
ever
it
a
was
moment
stupid.
for a CM Punk chant to start, it was right then and there.
No, and that was all planned because Triple H is bringing up the took the ball and go home kind of stuff, and that was so planned.
So, with all these things going around with John Cena, and how we've all been like, it's time for him to have a heel turn already. What if he already has turned heel? Look at his past resume over the last month. He's brought back the Authority. He's gotten 3 people fired. He at this point hasn't been able to do anything to the character of John Cena to this point. What if he already is a heel, but everyone is so fixated on the fact that he's not when he actually is?
But that can't be because
Why?
the reason why is because he had really no choice. He only brought that back the Authority because Edge was in danger. So that's one. Then when everyone got fired, that wasn't on him. That was just because they decided to join him and the Authority fired him.
Right.
And then doing anything now.
Why did they join him? Because he talked
Hey.
him into it.
Can I raise my hand for a second?
hold on,
Can I
yeah,
just
go
say
ahead,
something
go ahead.
real quick? John Cena, that entire time Edge's head was on a briefcase, could have done what he did after he brought back the Authority.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Danny's fucking. That just blew my mind.
No.
Because in a way,
Never happened.
Danny's
No.
it makes sense.
Ready?
It would make sense if we were writing it.
It's
but they're
a
never going to make John
story.
Cena
They
that.
had
I would
it-
love
they
that.
had
That
to
would be
sell
They're
that.
not going to make John Cena heel outright because it doesn't make sense for his character. But if you subtly make him a heel, there's a way to go
Well,
around
already-
it, where the kids will still like him, but he does heel tendencies.
To us.
Yes, to us, to
the
people,
wrestling fans,
to the
the
people
real
who
wrestling
understand
fans.
what's going on, and you really
But
understand.
that's how he's always been. He's always been against the real wrestlers, and we've always rooted for them. So really, he's the heel because we've always rooted for the CM Punks, the Daniel Bryans versus him. We've always rooted for that. That's
So
just,
unintentionally though. I mean, obviously
Right,
in the
but-
stories
but-
he's been the good
but
guy. But
even still, like I'm just talking about the recent activities he's had. If you look at his resume from maybe a year from now on, you look at what he's done, you can be like, this isn't really John Cena-esque. This isn't what he does. like the underlying things between what he's done in and what the characters in on the show, their ultimate outcome is from following him, it's very heel.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, he got knocked out in a match by a guy that was on his team.
Twice. He got knocked out by
Tonight.
Okay.
last night.
I'm saying he got knocked out and he lost the match because a guy on his team that he wasn't expecting knocked him out. And then he got thrown in a lumberjack match where only the heels were out there for some reason. Well,
No, not
I
for
know
some
the
reason,
but
not for some reason. That the authority wanted to make sure he lost.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
you
know,
had
but
every
that's-
single guy out there was pro authority. So, I mean, look at the way he lost that match. Big Show literally pulls him out of the ring and gives
Knocks
him the
him out.
knockout punch.
Okay.
And
Because you're not going to have him lose clean. There's no.
I know, but
way
I
I
you're
don't
gonna
think
have
I don't
him
that's
lose
actually
clean.
I don't see
Heel
that's pushing a heel. I agree with Dan on that. It's just the circumstances that are
just
around
saying
it.
making them
It's
helpless.
it's kind of
Making them
like
helpless.
when the authority was put in the corner of saying, "Oh, if you lose at Survivor Series, you guys are no longer in power." So they made the deal: if whoever's on your team loses, you're gone, you're fired, and it's just them keeping their word. They said it themselves. Triple H and Stephanie said it themselves. We're keeping our word. That's why we fired them. We told them if you stayed with them and you fought against us, you will be fired. They're back in power. They
Yeah, it
fired
wasn't
them.
Cena's fault. I mean, Team Cena won.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be gone forever, and then all of a sudden they're not
isn't
back.
it a heel thing to go against the people who are in power?
Not necessarily.
No.
No,
People
that's
in
the,
power are
If,
usually the heels.
if you're going
Yeah,
against
power
the
heel,
owners of the company
Think
for a
about
certain
hold on,
reason,
I'm going to prove it wrong in one name alone. So called Steve Austin, one of the most popular faces of all time, went against Vince McMahon. The heels are like you guys
They're
said.
always going to make the
heels are-
bosses the heels because it's like boss at your
And
job. You hate them.
Who
That's
are all the kids
average
rooting
person's
for?
going to hate their boss.
Who are all the kids and good people rooting for it? Survivor
like I,
Series.
I,
Team
like I
Cena.
said, I'm not talking about the kids because the kids don't understand
Okay,
the
for
Just
underlying.
because we all hate John Cena doesn't
Yeah,
mean
the adults are obviously. I mean, every time that man comes out, you hear John Cena's suck chants louder than ever. I mean,
Right,
just,
but like all of that is irrelevant to my point.
but
I'm not talking about any of those people who hate John Cena. I'm talking about John Cena in his actions of what he's done has been very heel.
No,
to
he
me.
hasn't. It's just the
like you
circumstances.
say,
around
he's
it.
been helpless. He hasn't. He can't. He has nothing else he can do.
He was trying to protect.
He didn't get anybody
Edge.
fired.
Yeah,
no,
he was trying to protect
he picked people.
All right.
He picked
The only
people to go
thing-
against the people who go against people who've been picking on them.
All right. The only thing that annoyed me about this is him saying that he was going to take the title away,
Oh yeah, that.
which is the same exact thing that
That
Brock
is-
Lesnar has done.
that is
Why
so
would we want to
stupid.
watch a program where there is no champion? Don't get us wrong. Don't get me wrong. We're tired of Brock Lesnar not being here every week.
Of course.
We'd rather have a champion who is here every single week.
Yeah.
Like the CM Punks.
Let's go, Seth Rollins.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, seriously.
John Cena. Even though he was champion, we were tired of it. He was there every week.
No, I don't
How
take any
many
away from
video
him, but-
packages have we watched with John Cena and little kids that have cancer or have some debilitating diseases, and it's like, never give up, never give up. Like, come on. You can't do this.
Absolutely.
You can't.
So, like, right then
You
and
can't-
there.
you
so
can't
I
still
guess
have
we're all
good-
Team Rollins. I mean, really. We want the bad guy to win, but we don't
Well,
want Cena.
no.
I don't see
I
it
don't-
happening in
I
Royal
just-
Rumble. I see it happening at
No, of course. I
I'm
don't
just
see it
saying
happening either,
the
but I'm
point
saying-
of having him say that, which did not come from his own brain, he didn't think that up, that was written for him, was an absolutely miserable choice. Because you're pointing out, first of all, the guy that has not been here for how long, and then you're having the face, well, technically the face guy, all of a sudden say that he's going to do that too. Like, just to screw the authority? No, that's screwing over the fans. That's not
Get back
screwing
his
over
friends back.
the authority.
Heel move. I don't want to say it's a heel move, but it's a heel move.
We'll go
It's
on.
a terrible move. Whatever it is.
They announced Seth Rollins will take on John Cena in a lumberjack match.
Awesome. But we've
Okay,
seen
basically-
Seth Rollins versus John Cena every week for the past month and a half.
I mean, it was a good twist.
They're always
on
good
it.
matches, but come on.
What do you guys think of this?
It was too obvious that Cena was going to lose. You really think when he's going to win?
Oh yeah, it was put on the
all-
line that they were going to be
With,
rehired.
with
for
all
Owen
heels, of
Ryback
course. I mean,
and,
like,
Ziggler.
All his friends would be rehired if he won.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
we
too
knew
soon.
wasn't going to happen. So that's why I didn't like it. I mean, the match itself wasn't bad, but I mean, just the fact that Cena every 5 seconds I felt like he was getting beaten up by the outside of the ring.
I just hated that the entire ring was surrounded.
That's what I'm saying. It was so ridiculous. There was no reason.
Throw maybe, but throw like maybe one babyface.
No,
The
the whole
authority
the whole point
doesn't
was-
usually go that. They want to make it seem like they're fair.
Yeah.
And to put all the heels out there,
That's what
it
I'm
doesn't
saying.
make it look fair. Either way, it
Throw a
wouldn't have been fair.
babyface or two in there.
But
Maybe
you know,
throw a
I
babyface
think
tag
that,
team
I
in
think
there.
this was the authority trying to prove a point of saying, we're in charge, we're doing this, F you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That was the
I'll
whole
put
point
that
of
on
having
this
no faces out there.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of guys who were, as JBL and Cole said, they were either sympathizers of or supporters of the authority, or just too afraid to do anything about it because they were, afraid of their jobs. It was just the authority saying we're in charge.
It just ruins the dynamic of a lumberjack match. Like, why even have a
Not
match? It's just a
necessarily if
beatdown.
you think
Like,
about it in the way of the actual storyline. If you think about it in the storyline, the authority is very upset with John Cena and the other guys, so they're gonna punish the guys who are there. They've already punished 3/4 of the team at this point. All that's left is John Cena. Why would they even give John Cena a chance of having a babyface team out there to maybe interfere with him winning?
Yeah, no.
There's
I agree.
no reason for it because the authority just wants to be like, this is our show. You're not going to do anything about it. We are going to show you what we are here for.
Are they going to fire half the show? If the good guys came out and showed support for
No,
Ziggler,
they're not-
Ryback, and Rowan, you think they're going to fire half the show?
They're not going to fire
They're not
them,
gonna
but they're
do that.
going to punish them. I mean, look what happened to Naomi, as we'll get to later on.
Yeah, that was
They're,
ridiculous.
they're also not going to send them out there anyway. Just to run
That's
that
true, but
risk.
why couldn't they come out there? Why couldn't they interfere? Why didn't we get the Usos come out?
Because they were
Because
afraid.
everyone's so
They were
afraid. That's the whole
Ambrose.
point. The
They
whole
were
point
afraid.
is you're afraid to go up against them.
That's again, that's making the faces look really weak, afraid, and I like the authority gimmick, but it's just a little too overbearing.
But
So
it could
here's the
change.
thing.
It could change.
The thing
in the
is
next couple
that-
weeks.
Not only that, but the thing is, the faces, if you look at it, who were the strongest faces in the WWE?
Exactly.
You had your John Cena, you have your
Right now.
As of
Ryback, you
recently.
had your Ziggler. They're
Dean Ambrose.
gone.
He's got
Dean
it.
Ambrose, yes, but he's got his own thing going
Dan
on. I don't know what they're
Daniel
doing.
Bryan.
Right now, he's
Daniel
back.
Bryan, who we just found out was coming back to
And
wrestle.
he's back now.
So we
weeks
had
ago.
no intention. No, I mean as in he's gonna have his first match. We just found that out. You had no intention of seeing Daniel Bryan wrestle. I didn't think he was gonna wrestle until Royal Rumble. Personally, I didn't suspect he was coming back.
What
I
Matt
would
means
like
is
to
we find out later on
Yeah.
in the night that Daniel Bryan will be wrestling
But
Kane on SmackDown.
But that was actually announced.
It was announced last
Already.
week.
Yeah.
They
And then-
officially announced it.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
like.
I don't know. I said what they're doing, but my point is, there's really no strong faces that
Yeah.
can really send down there now that Ziggler and Ryback are gone.
Especially
Yes,
that they've been
you know,
focusing on those three for the last 2 weeks now. I
Yeah.
mean, there's really no other face. I mean, the Usos, they fight. They fight Miz and Miz every other week, and then they don't do anything else besides that. There's really and Dean Ambrose. Okay, Dean Ambrose, who's been with Wyatt. I mean, there's really, like you said, there's no other face that sticks out that is against authority every other week.
But I feel like they can throw anybody in that position.
They can, but they got to
But
build them up.
It's a lot
who's
easier.
big enough to push at this
They could
point?
throw the fucking New Day in that position. Like they could throw. They could throw.
Well, you
anybody
didn't
in that
mention.
position.
I don't think we mentioned Roman Reigns, who's like
Yeah,
really supposed to be the
of
top
course,
face.
Him, yeah,
He's
But-
got his own thing going with
Big Show.
Big Show. Thank
I'm
you.
just saying that there's always going to be more heels than faces.
Of
That's
course,
just how
there's-
wrestling
yeah,
is.
there always
And that's
is.
how it should be.
Because there's only a certain amount of guys that can get that certain reaction from the crowd. Otherwise, the whole night they're going to be cheering. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is.
But I gotta say, this match was awesome.
Yeah, it was a
I
good match.
enjoyed
It was a
it.
decent match.
As in the first match of the night.
I thought it was not bad.
I didn't enjoy like
I didn't expect it was gonna be
the
first match of
typical
the night.
spot that happens every time with 50 guys and John Cena going, "Ah," and,
Yeah,
jumping
the
off
top
like
rope. And,
Yeah.
Tarzan off the top
it's so
rope, and like,
cheesy.
and Big Show's just chilling there on the side. Big Show did not get involved in that. You know why? Because he shouldn't be.
It's Big Show.
He shouldn't fall
Doesn't
for
have
that.
to. Move on to the next match: New Day versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
God.
I actually love this match. What are you
enjoyed this
talking
match
about?
A lot.
Okay. I
The New Day versus Tyson
enjoy
Kidd?
3 of those 4.
And Cesaro.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Go ahead.
enjoy 3 of those 4. Now, match itself, Kofi wasn't bad. Star and Kid wasn't
Where's
bad.
this going?
Kofi was aggressive as shit.
Yes, he was good.
Yeah, he was.
I just said Kofi was good. Now, you're going to tell me Ezekiel
No.
Jackson. When he whatever the fuck his name. I'm
Xavier
sorry.
Woods.
Xavier Woods. I was
Ezekiel
Big
Jackson.
E is who you're talking about?
No, he's talking about Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods. I don't know who the fuck I was going with that.
You, my friend,
Are racist.
are racist.
Well, yeah.
Thanks for putting that on the air.
It's
Anyway.
Jackson and all that
Okay.
shit.
Anyway, moving on with life. He was so bad. I mean, like
Xavier Woods?
he botched so many moves.
When was the
I
last
don't
time
know
you saw
about that.
Xavier Woods in a match?
Those are reasons
I don't
why
love
he's
him
not
as
in
a
a match. He
wrestler.
botches so many moves.
I don't love him as a wrestler either.
That
The
means
match
he's
is-
just rusty.
But the match itself was a
That
good
match
breath
was-
of fresh air. in the
I
tag
enjoyed
team.
that match so much.
Yeah,
I did.
We
I
saw
mean, it was
great
a little
moves like
quick, so I don't really
It
get
was.
that
It was.
into
it
it.
was too quick, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
was
But
quick,
they
quick.
were
Can't get into a match that's that short that much.
But there were
Woods.
great like tag team moves throughout that. Like
Oh yeah,
that
the
match.
swing into the
Thank
dropkick
you.
was amazing.
Me
It
and
was
him will talk
perfect.
about
That's
that
it.
tonight.
That was good.
It was perfect.
That was good.
But the problem I
enjoyed
have with that
part.
is, do you think you can do it that perfect every time?
No.
He swings so fast. I feel like that's going to be a botch. That's going to
Yes.
be bad.
No, but I said that was good. I enjoyed that. But Xavier Woods just.
I might be the only person who
I
likes
don't-
Xavier
I don't-
Woods.
I don't
I
know.
enjoy Xavier
I
Woods.
like him
I don't mind
on
him
the
being conceited.
roster because he can talk.
Yeah,
He's
he
good
can
at
talk,
talking.
But I feel like he should have more of a chance to showcase his abilities. He hasn't had.
Maybe
if
put
you
him
think
in
about
one
it,
matches then.
But if you think about it, he hasn't had that much of a chance to
No.
to show himself. He was part of the fucking Fuckasauruses. Fuckasauruses with Naomi and Cameron and fucking that guy who's in TNA now. What's the name? Brodus Clay?
Yes.
Dinosaurs banging, apparently.
Like, come on, he didn't like. We saw him at. I saw him at Nassau Coliseum, and he put on a great match. I forgot who he faced, but
Yeah.
It was
I saw
awesome.
him at the WrestleMania 29 Access when he was still in NXT, and he put on a good match.
he always puts
So
on.
then
a
put him
great
on one-on-one matches again for a while. I mean,
But you
just
know,
these tag team matches
why
are just
I
bad.
enjoyed this match? Because it wasn't Gold Dust and Stardust
No.
versus the Usos, or them two versus Miz and
I
Mizdow,
was
or
about to
them
say.
three versus the Los
I
Angeles.
agree,
The
but
fact
I
that there
also
are now
didn't want to
that-
see either of them get a loss. Also, I wanted to see the New Day get a win, and I also want to see Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. That's the
feel-
one problem I had right
but
there.
you can't, you
I want to see
can't,
them
you,
both
you
further.
can't
I want to see them
have
both.
that.
What I think you could do with this though is give them kind of almost a little mini feud now. They've already screwed Tyson Kidd and
That's what
Cesaro.
the
Yeah,
tag
they
team
screwed them up.
needs. Tag team division needs.
They need a good feud.
A separate feud that
Separate
does not
feuds
have to do with
besides
the
the main title.
So what I think you should do now is you take Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, who they screwed over New Day in a victory against Adam Rose, and
Another thing.
hold on,
Okay,
hold on,
so
hold on.
why are they out there?
Which
Let's
is
be
my
honest.
next
I know.
point
Keep going
is
with what
and
you're
why do
going.
you guys think that was going to happen?
but
it is happening.
but my point is you get this going as a feud. They cost them a match. They won a match against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Progress this. These guys put on a really good, again, short match, but a decent match for the tag team that this whole table has been complaining
About who?
for the tag team.
The entire
division,
tag
The
team.
division, the
Oh,
entire
the
division.
The entire
Th-
division.
This is
I'm not
basically-
complaining about any of these guys.
No, what I'm saying is, we've all been complaining about the division itself for how long. This was a breath of fresh air. Watching this match was like, yes, okay,
Absolutely.
there's
Yeah.
hope. There's hope.
But I mean, that was 1 week. If you think about the week before when Tyson Kidd and Cesaro coming out in morph suits and botching a terrible
I agree.
move,
Yes,
It
I
happens.
agree.
it's 1 week.
Botches
so
happen.
I gotta see more consistency.
You can't.
from
You
them.
can't.
I agree,
but you
but-
can't be perfect
And we're gonna
every
talk
single
about
week.
a
This
certain
is-
other team later, which is a complete botch.
brand
but-
new tag team that has
We'll get to that.
realistically has never had any other tag team matches before. It's going to take them time to get some chemistry going with that, and you can't give them 2 weeks. 2 weeks to have everything perfect.
That's
No
true.
way.
But Tyson Kidd and Cesaro are both great wrestlers.
harp
They've
on
been wrestling
Danny,
a long time, both of them.
You can't have perfect matches every single night.
Yeah, it's just
No,
not
no,
going to
not
happen.
perfect matches.
But another thing is, though, I said
just
this
saying
before.
that
When
all
New
they
Day
had was a
first,
run-in, and that was botched. And
I said this from the beginning. When New Day first debuted, I was like, okay, cool. We all agree it's a fresh about there, but the switching in and out can't keep happening because
agree.
that's when you can put Big E in. Then you put Xavier Woods in, and then they get rusty. And Big E doesn't get rusty.
okay
but-
with them switching.
But no, the question
because
is-
you don't know what you're going to get
No,
every
but
match.
here's the
You
question.
don't know what you're going to get.
But then you put Xavier Woods in once every 5-6 matches, and he's
But
already
just think about it, tag team match.
doesn't-
Why would you
get the
choose
two
not to
high
have?
flyers.
Hold
You
on.
can get the strong guy in the
Hold on.
high flyer. You can get.
Let me ask this question though. But with the switching on and off, if let's say it does happen where they give the New Day the tag team titles,
No, they're not
and
switching.
if at any point can they switch off now?
Nope.
If-
Do you ask me right now if New Day were to win the titles, who's going to be? Who is
No,
Big
no, I'm
E and
asking.
Kofi?
No. My question is, could they
Kofi
switch
and
off?
Xavier Woods.
No.
I agree with you.
Kofi and Xavier
Woods.
Woods,
No.
and Big E will go on
That's
to
not
be
what I wanna see,
the
though.
U.S. champion or the
Yeah, but
Intercontinental.
he's not going to be a champion. He's a
no,
Rusev
hold on.
champion.
I do agree with Gasper and Danny on this, but only because of this. You're already pushing that whole power versus speed flight with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. You're not going to push that with the New Day, where you're going to give them both Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, who are both just pure speed, hit you and knock you down.
Let me just give an argument here. Let's say, let's think about tag teams that were just thrown together, that were never guys that came up as tag teams. Think about the greatest ones, like
John Cena
I would
and Bull
say-
Buchanan.
no.
Mick Foley and The Rock.
Well-
You guys who never came up together.
Well, I'm thinking along these lines. Kane and X-Pac. What is that? Monster, athletic guy. There it is.
Okay.
You got Kane, Daniel Bryan, monster, athletic guy.
You just like Kane, don't you?
Well, that's
Big
what
Show
Kane is a
Jericho.
tag team. Yes,
Big
Jericho.
Show.
I was
But-
just going to say that.
But-
that was an awesome tag
Again,
team.
you're already pushing that gimmick with Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, because Cesaro, we've already heard him
That's
say.
not to
how
the
many
degree.
times-
But yeah,
Yeah, but how many
that's
times have you heard?
big
How many
guy,
times
though.
have you heard
Cesaro.
somebody say Cesaro is the
Pound for
most
pound.
pound for pound, the strongest guy?
And then we
in
don't see him
WWE?
on Raw. So how do we believe that anymore? You know what I mean? It's
Because they don't know what
are
to
they
do
gonna,
with him.
and they're
They
going to
don't know
have
what to do
a
with
battle
Cesaro.
royal again this year.
I
They're
hope
going to
so.
do it. They said it was an
should be
annual.
An annual
I don't-
thing.
I don't
But how are
think
they
so.
going to build that? They're going to say the winner is getting this prestigious trophy. What did Cesaro do the whole year? Shit. So basically, they buried themselves. They buried the match by burying him. But
What I gotta say, this is, I guess, a new step into the tag team division.
let me just add, my
First.
point was I want Big E and Kofi. I just want that as a team.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
Big E and Kofi, to be honest, but the fact that the three of them can interchange as much as they can in between matches, I think gives them a lot of versatility versing anyone in that tag team division. Doesn't matter who it is, it can be the Usos.
You are correct.
It could be
But
Goldust.
look at the Ascension.
Stardust, doesn't matter.
The Ascension
Oh,
are just too
that's fine.
fucking. Listen,
The Ascension. Don't you start with the Ascension.
Don't start with
I personally have a lot to talk about
Well,
the Ascension.
But
when
I don't
it is
have
that we
anything to
get
talk
there.
about them. I have to talk about WWE. That's
well,
my
I
we'll
have
hit
some
upon
things
it
to say.
soon. Big Show comes out, cuts a promo, I guess.
Can we like
Big-
skip
okay.
that,
The
please?
Big Show, I gotta admit right here, Big Show put on a good promo.
He did.
You gotta admit.
I agree with you.
I don't like Big Show. I think he should retire. But
Yes.
you have to admit,
That
for a
promo
7-foot monster guy,
great.
he puts on solid promos, and that one was good.
Listen, when he was on commentary, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, he was good.
When he was jerking off
good.
Seth Rollins all
Yeah, he was
time.
good.
That is what he should do when he retires.
Well, I don't know.
He should be a new commentary person.
I don't know
A
about
heel
that.
commentary.
Well, he's not bad when he does
Come
a
on.
pre-show. But
He was not even pre-show's not commentary. Pre-show is just
what I'm saying.
I think this guy's gonna win this. When he was on Raw 2 weeks ago, commentating the Seth Rollins.
But he had
But he had beef with he had a storyline with
well,
He had a
Razor.
storyline to talk about.
Exactly.
What I mean, come on.
Yeah, he
I
was
feel
good.
like if you give that guy anything to talk about, he can do it.
The promo was good on Raw. I don't like Big Show, but I'll admit, you gotta
But
admit.
see, here's the thing.
Don't
though.
like him as a wrestler.
Here's the
No.
thing.
I
If
feel
you
like he can talk pretty well.
if you go with that storyline of Big Show becoming commentary after he wrestles, I feel like he's gonna have this urge to get back into a. He's gonna have a urge to get back into wrestling again, and he's gonna start some stupid feud with someone, and then he's gonna get back into
I
it.
don't know.
I feel like I can't see that guy.
No, I don't think he's gonna.
I don't know. I enjoy the Big Show talking.
I think if he ever does fully invest himself into commentating, the WWE will straight up tell him, listen, if you're going to go into commentating, you're going to retire. You're not coming back.
No, which is
I hope so.
I think fine.
Yeah,
because
and I had-
Yeah, but
that's what they
They
should
may give him
What's
like a
his name?
Rumble appearance,
What's
just
his
like
name?
they did Booker T and
Corey
Jimmy Hart.
Graves from NXT, correct?
Yeah.
He's now an announcer
Yeah, but he's had
because
so many
he can't
concussions,
wrestle anymore.
yeah.
But he,
But
that was different though.
he can't wrestle for the WWE anymore. If he goes to the Indies, I feel like they would make him allow him to wrestle, and I just feel, it's the Big Show. I feel like he could do whatever within the business, whether it be commentating, whether it be scouting.
The man can speak.
He
It's the
can-
way it is. The man can speak.
He can speak.
He's a business
for
guy.
A giant.
The Undertaker's a business guy. The Big Show's a business guy. And I just love how he brought up how he beat Hulk Hogan his first night
Yeah, that was
for the
good.
championship.
Until Reigns fucking ruined it.
That,
Yeah, we go
do
on to
have
that
do we
now.
even have to?
Jerk off.
How about them acting classes, Roman
No,
Reigns?
but yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna tell you,
you
a
gotta
story.
blame, you gotta blame
about-
50% him, and you gotta blame 50%
Yep.
the writers because that.
I blame more of the writers.
I-
than
Yeah, on that one I blame the writers.
I'm gonna
Normally
tell
I
you a
blame
little
him.
story about a guy named Roman, and he was a little kid who got beans.
The fact that they let him
God.
go out there with that
Terrible.
is disgraceful. I know, understand the guy is not a great talker. It doesn't matter. Brock Lesnar can't talk, and he makes up garbage, and he has terrible 5-second promos. But
That's why he was Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
yeah, Roman Reigns was better. I'll say it every week when we talk about Roman Reigns. He was better in a tag team when he was the muscle, and he was like, he just ended the thing with his fist out and said, "Believe that,
Yep.
believe that," whatever the hell he's saying. And that's it. And he came in and he hit hard and impactful. And now he's trying to carry a feud with his words, and it's not there.
It's so bad because I mean, it's each week it gets worse and worse. I mean, you don't go out there and try to be tough and tell a story about Jack and the Beanstalk. I mean, what are you trying to prove?
You know
Like-
that he said "suffering succotash" on SmackDown last week.
Yep.
That happened. That was
What?
real.
I'm glad I didn't see that.
He said
wanna know what I read,
"suffering
though?
succotash."
As in, like Sylvester the Captain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I read though? That Vince McMahon has been writing Roman Reigns' promos.
Well, let me put
What
this
does that
in,
tell you?
Let me put this in the most pleasant way. Vince has got to go.
Vince is fucking out of it.
And
When was the last time?
I don't think he's going to go
Sylvester
until he
the Cat has
passes
been
away.
relevant?
So
1996 when Space Jam came out.
Vince
I didn't
needs
even think then he was really that relevant in that movie.
Yeah, he wasn't really that.
Vince needs to make himself like blow up in a car, not in real life, but like and take him away from backstage.
Oh, you mean like what he planned on before?
Yeah, like
Chris
blow
Benoit
up in a car, but like
dragging
send
him
himself home. Not like I don't want him to die.
Oh my God.
But
What?
out. Yeah.
You would think a guy with the caliber of family that a guy like Roman Reigns has, he would at least have some sort of charisma as a character. It's just so non-existent with
he-
him.
I
And
don't
it's
agree.
very bad.
Listen.
Me being a guy who liked him when he as soon as the Shield broke apart, I immediately thought Roman Reigns was going to be the guy. And
Well,
I
yeah,
gave, and
I
I gave
still
I
think
gave
that.
no
See, I
I
was
gave
the
no
one.
credit to Rollins and Ambrose, none whatsoever.
I
You
liked
can
them
ask
more, but I
Astra,
still thought
I
WWE
gave no
thought
credit to both of them.
Reigns was the guy.
I thought Reigns was going to be the guy that come on top.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. What I did tell you every single time I would work, we were talking on a truck. I told him every single week. I think Rollins is the most gifted wrestler and probably the best.
And
one of
I
mine.
thought he would move into the Jeff Hardy role, and I didn't think. I thought
hasn't.
his best
He's honestly been coming
as a
better
heel,
and
yes,
better.
but as a face, his greatest assets are his athletic moves, which normally
Yes.
turn to. Maybe he'll get a title or two, but he's not going to be a top guy for the duration of his career.
No.
That's just how it is. I thought he was going to be like a Jeff Hardy kind of guy. The crowd likes him, but he's never, a top guy. He had his run, Jeff Hardy, but he wasn't a top guy for most of his career.
If this rumor is true that Vince is writing Roman Reigns' promos, everything that he's doing,
Is he writing anybody else's? Is there rumors
No.
for anybody else? Just for
because
Reigns.
Well,
God.
the rumor has it this is Vince's
Vince is writing most of the
final
things going on, I
push
think.
as his go-to superstar. Which I don't know isn't exactly true. It's a rumor, whatever. Vince is almost 70 years old.
No, it's
But and in Roman Reigns' promo, it just felt like he was forcing like. I understand he's related to The Rock, but I felt like he was trying to do this whole story, like this comedy thing, like he's The Rock, but he's not. He doesn't have
He doesn't.
he doesn't
talk
have
to The Rock.
1%
He
of
doesn't do
The
anything
Rock.
like The
He
Rock.
doesn't have 1% of Dean Ambrose's charisma, even. and that's nowhere near The Rock's.
That was what I was going to go with you, Danny. Just because, again, the family relation doesn't mean it all translates to
No.
everything.
But
No,
WWE
but
has
he-
to understand that.
Yeah.
But he at
They
least
can't think they're gonna have The Rock too. It's just not
he,
gonna happen.
he at least has the assets to
But-
at least come close to trying
No,
to be
'cause
somebody
they-
close.
They
to
did the
but
same
you
thing
know
with
what?
Curtis
This is
Axel.
the-
They gave him the Intercontinental title. They gave him a push. Well, he's the next Mr. Perfect. No, he's not. They have
Just
to
the thing
realize
is,
what
though,
he is.
The Rock, especially The Rock, we said this Monday night at Truck. There is no one in this company, history or future, who did what The Rock did on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
He was an incredible individual. I mean, even as good as Stone Cold was at cutting promos, when The Rock spoke, you really got into it, no matter what. He
Even
said.
though Stone Cold was number one on the countdown of best trash talkers of all time. 1 was Stone Cold, 2 was Punk, and 3 was Rock.
I see. I would disagree
The
with
Rock,
that.
the Rock came out when we went to
That's
Raw
trash talk.
in Brooklyn.
The Rock can get very repetitive, though.
Goosebumps.
You have to
You're
admit
You're
that
right.
the crowd
You're
loves
right.
it.
You're all right.
Stone Cold may have been a little more original in what was going on.
But just the fact that every single promo he cut, The Rock, meaning,
I feel like Rock was
it was
better.
made you
more
listen.
entertaining.
Rock
It
was
was
more
more
entertainment.
entertaining than any other superstar in history. And I do mean history. There was no one. Hulk Hogan in his prime, anyone in their prime.
Let me just say, as much as I love the Big Show on the mic, how dare he insult my Knicks?
Oh my God! Thank God you brought that up.
15-game losers.
Let me just say this right now. Let me just say that right now.
How is that?
What's going on here?
Let's,
What's
let's,
important?
Gasper, turn the phone off. Come
Gasper, Gasper, we're trying to run a show here.
Hello?
This porn's going
Computer,
on.
please.
Gasper, mute. Hit the mute button.
Please.
All right.
on. Why are you showing the hands on your computer right
I muted it. It's over.
You finally muted it? Took
Yeah,
forever.
it's the ad at the bottom of the fucking page.
now? We were having fun with that one.
All right.
That was a good one.
All right. Why the fuck is the Big Show mentioning the Knicks when they're in New Orleans?
That's all I wanted to know. I was like,
You're-
wait,
That was
Heel.
confusing me.
I understand, like, do they have, like, WWF some kind of thing against New York right now? I don't understand that. If you're a heel, you bash the hometown team, and that's it. Next time they go to New York, you have a heel bash the Knicks. Why? It was just very stupid.
The thing that bothers me is why is he comparing Roman Reigns to a team who loses all the time to Roman Reigns?
because he was trying to say he's the worst thing in the
But
company,
Roman
the
Reigns
worst.
doesn't lose.
No, of course, no, isn't it? But
He doesn't lose.
his story, I believe, was he's comparing the worst thing in sports to the worst thing in wrestling, quote unquote worst thing in wrestling. So not that he loses. I mean, he just thinks he's the worst. I mean, you might win 5-6 games in Monopoly. I'd be like, oh, you're still the worst life. I mean, worst thing I've ever seen in my entire
In
life.
life or actual life?
Life, actually, living.
Oh,
Living,
the
breathing
serial life?
Hopefully, he's foreshadowing something for Roman Reigns.
I
Like
doubt
he's gonna go on a big losing streak. That would be nice.
Yeah,
And
that
they
won't
build
happen.
him up like that.
It won't happen.
But
That will never happen.
Roman Reigns did compete tonight. Or
He
last
did?
night. Luke Harper. He faced Luke Harper.
Luke Harper
Luke
carried
Harper.
the match.
Remember that guy? He was a thing a while ago.
Who's that guy? The guy carrying the match? Ah, forget about him.
Maybe.
Let's just push this guy. Cause
There was
he
another
relates to
guy
Rock.
in the match besides Luke Harper.
Who? All right.
It's-
What'd you guys think of this match, man?
Terrible, except for Luke Harper. Luke Harper completely put the whole match on his shoulders.
As always.
Yeah. I mean, it was just, I was bored out of my mind with the exception of Luke Harper's offensive moves. The giant kick, you know what I mean, that he does.
He's my
The
favorite big guy.
clothesline, I mean, he's just...
He does amazing moves. When I saw him
Yeah.
doing these moves, I'm like, okay, he's bigger than Roman Reigns. And look at the moves he's doing. Roman Reigns couldn't do this move. Roman Reigns could not, like, flip over the ropes like that.
Yeah.
Like, he could not do that.
I think Roman Reigns and Harper have good chemistry together.
No, it's just Harper's for a big
Harper's
guy,
a very good
especially
wrestler. I feel he has chemistry with
They both
nearly
came out
everyone.
for
hard
a
and
big guy. He's got chemistry with everyone he does.
Because he can move and he can do things in the ring. He's not just a sluggish, I'm going to put a guy in a headlock. That's what Roman Reigns has been doing.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns does a headlock, a rest hold the whole time, whip off the ropes, and then he does his drop kick from the outside the ring and the Superman punch and the spear. That's it.
and a Samoan drop at some point if he can.
Yeah. He did
I
have
mean,
one
he-
against
he-
Harper, but
for his defense, I mean, Roman Reigns had that nice little neck breaker That was about it.
I understand.
That was a
though.
nice little change of pace. Like, oh my god, look, he did a neck
He's not-
I
breaker.
saw that. I
I
noticed
did the
that.
same thing.
I understand.
was like, Holy crap!
They keep these guys simple, like just like Cena was. They keep They keep them simple.
Yeah.
They don't have too many moves, but we've seen it for over 2 years. The same ones. We've seen that drop kick. We've seen the Superman punch. We've seen the spear for 2 years.
I agree.
More than 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. Harper carried this match. and
Now,
it was
this might be an
decision.
obvious no, but do you guys think they're limiting his moves because he can't pull it off? Do you think that
No.
he don't believe in he can pull things off?
I think they're limiting his moves. I think he
No,
can
I'm
do
saying,
more
do you think
moves.
they're
I don't
lim-
think he can do as many moves as like Seth Rollins or like Daniel
No,
Bryan.
but do you think
he
they're
could do
limiting
more.
his moves because they don't believe in he can pull them off?
No, I think it's just that they want to promote him as like the John Cena. Get
He
your
has
ass kicked
these
for
moves.
20 minutes out of the match, and then all of a sudden, the last 5 minutes, boom, boom,
Yep.
boom.
He has
wham,
these
smash,
superpower
as-
moves that-
as he said, wham,
Wham,
smash,
bam.
thank, wham,
Wham,
bam,
bam,
Yeah,
thank
why
you,
did?
man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
My
Yeah.
dad told me that as a joke
Yeah.
for women.
yeah.
I don't want Roman Reigns to see it.
David Bowie. David Bowie.
I don't know.
But the
One of those
point
guys. One of those old
is
guys.
I think they're just keeping it as okay, like just do it like John Cena, get your ass kicked for the whole match, and then
Oh, the
Wait.
Rock treatment.
the what?
The Rock treatment.
Pretty much, yeah.
John Cena treatment.
the Rock,
treatment.
John Cena, any face that's really popular.
Yeah, but The Rock can sell moves.
Yeah, but he
like
was.
a champ.
It's the same gimmick that they're trying to go for him.
I don't think
Right.
anyone ever sold the stunner as well as The Rock did.
No, Roman Reigns is just like a brick wall with
Linda
a
McMahon.
laser tag vest on.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true. We'll move on. Naomi versus Alicia Fox.
Do we have to talk about this one?
Naomi had her hand tied behind her back.
That wasn't
in this
punishment,
match.
though. That wasn't
I gotta
punishment.
say, the
It
ref
wasn't-
was
it
really
wasn't
enjoying tying her hand behind the back. He had a nice view of the area.
And he stayed there very long.
He's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
there
what's
was
going on
there was
down
a little
here?"
lingering, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And this is all because of Stephanie, right?
Yeah,
They-
because
they're
she
not
was
being
upset because the
punished.
Authority was talked bad about by the Usos on
What?
SmackDown.
What? Really?
That's
That happened?
SmackDown, apparently. I didn't watch SmackDown. so
But I mean,
I did
don't
not.
get me wrong. I'm pretty sure like Jay performed later on tonight, this night.
Was it Jay, Jimmy, or I don't know which one's
Joey
which.
He performed?
Jesus, Jose.
He wrestled.
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
I just don't like how like let's just go back and hey Bree, remember that time your hand was tied behind your back? We're gonna do the same thing to Naomi. Like, come on.
It's just a waste of time.
Nikki, whatever.
It was a waste of a
Whatever, Bella.
match. That they're.
It was Brie.
Sure.
It was still, yeah. That gimmick's saying old.
Fucking
Like,
terrible.
I'd rather see a handicap match.
I'm
than-
on Total Divas now, and you got kicked off. That's basically why that made the card.
Basically,
Yeah.
You're right.
And they mentioned it about 3 times.
At
hey,
least.
hey, but the segment next, the champ is here.
Who?
Brock Lesnar.
Yes!
Probably
I
one of the
didn't see
greatest
the-
promos I've ever seen Paul Heyman cut. Well, maybe one of the greatest.
Yeah, but I was thinking to myself, like, why are they coming out now if there's this contract signing later? They're like, oh, we have Brock Lesnar here. We're paying
time
him
to
to be
kill.
here.
Yep.
So let's
That's right.
let's utilize it. Let's have him stand in the
I'd rather
ring
see- I'd rather
and
see
make goofy
that.
smiles.
He's-
Well, don't
he's
forget,
getting
don't
paid
forget
to
they
do
were also
nothing.
in New Orleans. So
Yeah,
that's
they had-
the
they
race
had
with
it for
Brock
like a
Lesnar
long-
beating
Yeah,
The
and
Undertaker.
that's another thing. They seriously talked about The Undertaker for about 10 minutes. They talked about John Cena and Seth Rollins about 1 minute.
Well,
and it
because
was just-
the,
I felt
the
like it was-
streak was much bigger than this match coming up at the time. I mean, the streak only happened a year ago. You got less than a
Yeah,
year
but
ago.
WWE is supposed to forget what happened a year ago. That's how they operate. So for
No.
them to give
Yeah,
that
what
much,
happened a month ago.
that's
But
why,
some-
especially you think you're not gonna see the Undertaker. Like if I didn't hear anything else and I saw that, I'd be like, the fact they're mentioning Undertaker on TV this much.
He's coming back.
No,
Yeah.
but the other
No,
thing is
but
they
the
realized it was only 200, like Vinny said, it was 280 something days, I think they said.
80
Two?
something days.
280
82 or something like that?
Yes.
Something along the line. Regardless.
Either way,
Less than
it's,
that,
it's,
actually.
it's less than the no. It's
No.
like
No,
280
he said
something
he
days.
said that. But regardless, the
But-
streak happened like
Yeah.
in
Like
that
8 days from
in that
WrestleMania.
area.
I think
wasn't
they
just
said,
like
I
it
think
was
they
so
said they're
random.
10 minutes apart. Like
Exactly.
The place
It was
where it ended.
in that area.
But they said the same thing. They repeated themselves for way too long.
But it's like
Yeah.
it's
That's
one of
Paul
the biggest
Heyman.
accomplishments
How
ever.
long
I
did
mean,
Paul Heyman go on for the my client defeated the unconquered?
Yeah, that
the
was
streak?
good
for
every week.
months.
I liked hearing
And
that
months.
every week,
And
but not
months.
hearing it in succession the same week. It
But
didn't
it was
go
only
anywhere
because
else.
it was in New Orleans.
I think it was just to warm up the final segment.
And they barely touched upon, at that point,
But
Seth Rollins.
You don't understand that.
I understand they talked about later. They had a backstage segment, and we'll get to later, but they didn't talk about.
if this
He's not mad at
Raw-
all that Seth Rollins is in the match or has any comment when he was shaking his hand a few weeks ago. Why is that?
Why would he
Okay.
need to? Because if you look about, if you look into the match, the only person that Brock Lesnar would see as an actual threat is John Cena. There's
That's
no
a
way
foolish
you.
move. The guy has a briefcase. He has 2 matches. for himself.
Technically, he
Okay,
can lose the match and still win it.
It doesn't. It really doesn't matter if you knock the
He's
hell
an
out.
opportunist.
If you knock the hell out of Seth Rollins early in the match, get rid of him, and just have Cena, it really wouldn't matter.
Yeah, well, because then all of a sudden he beats Cena. Rollins comes in, hits him in the head with the briefcase, cashes the money back.
Granted,
Just like
that's
we
my,
said, there's
granted
two
that's my
matches. There's two
prediction
matches.
for.
I don't think
Royal
so.
Rumble.
No, I think they keep the belt on Lesnar for until WrestleMania.
Well, we'll get to our Royal Rumble predictions.
But just
I know.
like
Go ahead.
with what Edge said that I talked about, was that a week ago? 2 weeks ago?
Passing the torch.
2 weeks ago, yep.
Here's the
Passing the
torch.
torch. The ultimate opportunist is now Seth Rollins. So he's basically the new Edge. And I wouldn't put it past him to sneak in a win. In a normal situation. Not this time, but I'm just saying in a normal title match, you know, Cena, Lesnar fighting each other, he sneaks in, gets a win. It's not. I don't think it's going to happen, but
It's not going to happen, but I feel like it could. You never know with the WWE. Dean Ambrose's psychology fucking shit.
oh yeah, 'cause
Stupid.
Stephanie also said that.
Stupid?
match-
I thought it was fucking
no,
phenomenal.
it was very good.
It was very funny.
Stephanie, it was stupid that Stephanie said, what did he say? She say, "Oh, you left the hospital.
checked yourself
You
out."
check yourself at the hospital.
Yeah.
That's why I'm pushing."
Change to
That whole angle of the gimmick, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That was so stupid.
So
You
dumb.
had Dean Ambrose come out to help Roman Reigns on SmackDown to be his tag team partner. Why wouldn't you say you came out and you were not supposed to be? You know, you're helping Roman Reigns. You could have gone
Go
anywhere
with
else.
some other angle other than.
I understand that's why she did it, but
Well,
you
it's
got to
because
mention
it's
something
Raw,
like that.
and they want to go back to the relevance of Raw last week. But I could, I mean, I feel like SmackDown was a different storyline. I mean, because he tagged up at Reigns, and that was that.
That's the
But
thing
they
that
want to go
really
back to
bothers me about SmackDown.
exactly. They
Just
go a
end
different
it. End
storyline.
it.
It's,
And-
hey, you just were in an ambulance match on Raw. Oh, I guess you'll help me on SmackDown, but come time Raw next week. Oh, you were in that ambulance match on Raw. Why?
Yeah,
why
they're
are you
very-
doing
they're
anything
very
like this?
inconsistent.
You came out to help Reigns against the Authority. That's why you're getting
it
punched.
The thing I hated most about this segment was it just lasted too long for my opinion.
I loved it.
It was funny.
What lasted too long? They were each individual things. They were
I know,
not that long.
but it was just the fact that they kept showing it, showing it,
No,
showing it. I would have
That's
one
when
more.
There's
Raw
only
was
two-
good. They
there's only
had
two of them, yeah.
repeated comedy
It was like
segments.
This was
This
a
was good
great
comedy
way
segments.
for Dean Ambrose to be introduced into the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Absolutely great way.
I don't like that Ambrose has turned into a comedy thing, but it was great.
I mean, the
And this
picture
is-
part was probably the only part I actually liked about it. It was
I liked everything.
Kane saying, what did he say?
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste? Like,
Dr. Yankum.
the whole thing with Hacksaw.
and then he
like,
showed Stephanie. And then
Wait, did you guys
Hogan.
catch the toothpaste thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr.
Dr.
Isaac
Isaac
Just
Yankum.
said that.
What was the one that he get for
Sure.
Triple H? Enema or
No, he said irritable
Balance
Oh,
bowel
IBS, yeah.
syndrome.
you know.
Fantastic.
That was funny. And then when he showed, you know, obviously he showed Roman Reigns as like brother. You know.
Brother. He's like- but I like this.
Other than that,
This
it
is
was,
when Raw was
what-
good. They
yes,
had these
absolutely.
repeated, kind of goofy
And people
things
tend to forget
that
this.
were hilarious.
And then
this was
after
good.
this, the crowd, when Stephanie came out later, they still continued with the whole.
Daniel Bryan also went.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan,
Of course.
which I don't know if that was completely on the script. That may have been off the
That
script.
Definitely was off script.
But, yeah.
I just think that it was a phenomenal fucking.
I think it was something good. It was like when we had the Dan Bryan Kane in therapy. Those were great
I
segments.
wish, I was kind of hoping it was Dr. Shelby.
That was great.
I don't like how it ended where he was like, all of a sudden,
He was
he
actually
was
the
giving the
shrink.
questions, like, and we didn't see anything
Well, it
about
was
that.
good because then, like,
I was gonna
what
say,
way
how
could
did
you
they
have him
from
sign the
the-
contract?
What do you mean?
How did he become to be the shrink? I didn't even notice that.
Well, I guess he started asking him questions. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good way though, only because it was a way for him to easily sign the contract. Hey, I helped you out. Now you signed the
So
contract.
it wasn't announced, but I guess we're assuming he's in the Rumble because the doctor signed the contract.
No, Stephanie McMahon says the only way you can compete in
Is
the
if
Royal
he's
Rumble.
If he signs
but
it.
he never was announced. He's going to be in the Rumble after the doctor, whatever.
Well, that was
psychiatrist signed the contract.
that was a showing
signed
of
it.
it.
But we're
he
assuming
signed
he's
it.
in. Yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah.
He's in.
He's.
We'll move on to Miz versus Jey Uso.
Uh,
His Golden Globe shit
I hope-
party.
I hope
George
we have
Clooney.
how many days? Less than 2 weeks left of Miz and Miz now. I really hope that the Royal Rumble is over.
I agree.
I would love to see Miz
I-
eliminate him.
Unfortunately, it's losing. It was pretty hot at one point. It was going
And then
good,
it's going out.
and now it's just like it's.
I
it's
really
not looking
hope
good.
Miz eliminates him at the Royal Rumble.
I think it will happen.
I'm worried that like it's going downhill and it's going to affect when that moment happens. But because now like what they got crushed by Ascension the week before, and now what are they doing? It's just I don't know.
Yeah, they're losing.
I just feel they ruined this entire. They could have gone so much more with this storyline, with the Usos and the Mizdow with the whole.
I don't like the
thing.
Naomi part.
I don't know. I feel like
I'm more
could've
thinking
done-
about the Miz down Miz part. Could
they
be better.
they kind of abandoned the Naomi part.
Yeah, they
really,
did,
so-
but I feel like they could have done so much.
You're right.
more
It's
with it.
PG now. You can't
It's-
do like a thing where the guy is
Cheating
married to
on,
a
yeah.
girl and like the guy's flirting with. They're not going to do that. That's-
You gotta have a storyline for Total Divas, which apparently is now very high on the totem pole of things to talk about with the WWE other than wrestling. So, if you don't have something for the girls to talk about, what's the point of the Total Divas show? And I think the Jey Uso thing just made it very easy with Naomi being on the show. And now that she's not on the show, fuck it, we don't need her anymore. Drop her
True.
from the whole thing.
That's a good point.
I can see it. Daniel Bryan comes back.
Back?
Oh,
Again,
to Raw
Oh yeah, he missed last week. I forgot.
and cuts a promo.
Yeah.
In New Orleans, hey, I won the title here.
Yep.
This and
Which
that.
was-
Steph-
You know, he had to do that.
He forgot about it though.
I
Cheesy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hate him on the mic. I really do.
No,
I
don't.
I don't think
It
he's
was like a
as bad
Mick
as
Foley
others.
kind of get a nice pop, but I
He's
can't hate
great.
him on the microphone.
He's a great wrestler. I hate him on the mic.
I don't. I can name about maybe 2 or 3 faces that are better on the microphone. I would put him.
If that.
Yeah. So they're. You know what I mean? It's tough to be the face and be controlling
Especially
the
after
crowd.
he's been out for so long. I mean, you know.
I think a part of it is people just get sick of him using the yes chant in the gimmick and in the promo. It has been done a lot, and you know I can't say that I don't think it's fresh and I like it anymore. I'm a little sick of it, but I like him, so
Yeah, I like him too.
I'm rooting for him.
Oh, I'm rooting for him just so we get a new champ, but you know that's how.
I mean, like I said, I don't like.
No.
I mean, I really
That's WrestleMania for me. Yeah.
don't like seeing the same exact story as last year. Where I mean, not the same as everybody coming back and then like getting back into the Rumble and then winning and then like against all odds. I don't like that part, but I'd rather have him over Roman Reigns. I mean, obviously those two are
I
the
would
favorites
like
right
that
now.
storyline, but it can't happen in WrestleMania 2 years in a row. I can't.
I think it
It's,
will.
I mean, it's gonna.
it can't. It can't.
Well, I mean, listen. My
pushing it.
my
They-
prediction
the
is
way
going to be he goes over Lesnar or whoever wins at Rumble, and then Rollins comes out and cashes in.
No,
that's my
see, I don't
prediction.
even
you
think
can't
that-
give someone the ball twice when they already
But he's not.
dropped it
If
because
but
of
if
injury.
you're
It's
if
different.
if he-
But hold on,
It's
that's the
not
thing.
his
That's
fault that he
but-
got hurt.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
Exactly.
But he's injury prone.
but
Why are
the-
you going to do it again?
But here's
I
the
love
thing.
him, but
I think the
So is
fact.
Roman Reigns.
that's
injury
why.
prone.
Injury prone.
He was out
No.
2 months with like a
Longer
serious.
than 2 months. He had a hernia.
Yeah, but it was serious.
No,
with his stomach.
what
You
I
know
what I
mean?
think
Like,
they're going to do, especially
this
because
is
of
a shoulder neck that could have
But I don't
any
think-
movie.
when you
done.
say-
They came back almost the same exact time.
But
But
I
when
think-
you say, I'm sorry, keep on. When you say Brian's gonna get the ball again, what I'm saying is he'll get the ball again, but he's gonna drop it really quick because I think Rollins will come out and cash in.
No.
But
what's
they,
the-
no matter
what's
what,
the
they
point of
still
giving
don't.
it to-
They already did that though.
What's the
Because
point
they're
of
not,
giving it to
gonna,
him?
they're not gonna give it to him again.
They still don't
Yes, they
like Daniel Bryan. They don't backstage. They
No,
don't think
I-
he's a
because
top WWE
authority
guy.
against Daniel
I get
Bryan.
that, but
Authority
No,
against
it's
Daniel
not
Bryan.
storyline. Real life. They don't like him. They don't want him to be the top guy. They still don't.
I
They did
get
it because
that.
they gave in to the fans, and he had so much mainstream appeal. The yes chants
But-
are in sports
He
arenas
still
everywhere.
does though.
I know.
That's what I was about to say. That
We watched
and,
the Islander fans
they
do it
don't-
tonight, all night tonight.
They don't want to do it again. They don't.
but
I
here's the thing.
don't think.
But
I
Roman
think
Reigns
you're
has
wrong.
looked so bad that it's tough. I'll admit it's a tough call.
I think
agree with
especially here in the promo where he said, exactly last year at this time, I was the nobody. I'd never lost my title. I lost because I got hurt. And Stephanie again
So
went to
many
B plus. I honestly think they're going to give it to him as he's going to win the Royal Rumble. He's going to progress on, and he's going to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And then I think exactly what you guys said. We're going to see Rollins come out and pull Randy Orton and
No.
take the title back.
That's what I
Not
said.
at
Well, that's what I
WrestleMania.
said.
I don't see it
No,
happening.
Not WrestleMania. That's too gimmicky. They would do that at a lesser pay per view.
So when's he gonna cash it in? He's up to WrestleMania. When's he
He's
gonna
not
do
gonna
it?
He's got
cash in.
3 more
He's not.
months.
No,
He's
he's not going to
not-
cash it in.
He's got till the end of June.
Nope. I think he might try to cash it in at WrestleMania during the match.
No, I think he'll try to cash it at Royal Rumble.
That's a
Probably be
possibility.
unsuccessful at it. Then at
That's a
WrestleMania,
possibility.
he's either going to cash it in and lose, or he'll cash it in and win. That's it. Because at this point, this is the only other chance. Because I think Lesnar is going to leave to do his UFC thing as soon as this thing is over. There's no way he's staying.
Yeah.
Unless
I
you
do not
have
believe it.
Lesnar go over Bryan and then
No
do
way.
the Rollins thing where
No, 'cause-
Rollins.
Yeah.
Because
He's not gonna wrestle at WrestleMania.
Lesnar's
He's on his
leaving
contract.
after you at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
He's done.
gone after WrestleMania.
Lesnar's done.
So-
After April 8th,
Oh yeah, I
whatever
forgot.
the
I forgot.
fuck it is.
Well, no,
Which is
but what I'm saying
unfortunate.
though, what I'm saying though, you could still have Lesnar go over and then lose to Rollins.
No, he's talking about
Lesnar beats Bryan.
No.
Rollins comes out,
don't see
cashes
that.
in on them.
No.
Don't see
They
it.
had that little feud backstage. What was that segment for?
No.
That was stare down
for this-
backstage.
Yeah, but
What do you mean the
For
entire
Rumble.
last segment?
For
But here's-
Rumble.
But then
But here-
also
but
can
here's
go
the-
on to WrestleMania
But
too.
then here's the problem with that. Then
Don't see it.
if you do that at WrestleMania,
I'm not saying I want that. I'm just throwing out possibilities.
No, I'm saying,
what I'm saying is the flaw of the logic is we're all saying WrestleMania is his last event, Lesnar's
Which
meeting.
I know.
Which then you're starting a new rivalry between him and Ambrose. If not Ambrose, I'm sorry, Rollins. If he comes in,
So then
cashes
you're gonna
it
have to
in-
have him go over Daniel Bryan if you're gonna start a new feud, which I wouldn't mind having.
No. If he just
Ambrose.
faces-
I mean Rollins versus. I keep saying Ambrose. Rollins versus Bryan at the next pay per view.
that's fine.
I would-
But
I wouldn't mind seeing
what
that.
I'm saying is you can't have a Lesnar versus thing.
No, I agree.
Because-
I'm sorry.
Good old Fastlane.
I mean, if I had to pick a wrestling card, I want to see Dan Bryan versus Seth Rollins, but it's not going to happen.
I think we will.
Why would you think it
list
happen?
your card?
Why wouldn't it happen? What are you gonna do right now?
Not at
They-
WrestleMania.
It could happen at WrestleMania, actually.
No,
That could be a lesser
No.
card. You have Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. You got Undertaker, Bray Wyatt. You got Sting and Triple H, and you have Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is an authorities guy, and you have Daniel Bryan against him. Why couldn't that happen at WrestleMania this year? Not title on the line. Why not?
I don't see Daniel Bryan.
No.
Because
That's
it
very
wouldn't,
possible.
it wouldn't have an impact. There's no reason for have them.
So then you're gonna.
fight.
There's so many
Because
matches at
then
It
WrestleMania.
was the Money in the Bank champion.
Hold on,
Money in
hold
the
on.
Bank was on one.
No, at
But no,
WrestleMania,
you guys
have
also
a match
forget
that
one
doesn't
other
make that
thing.
much impact.
If you're going to go in terms of who's going to feud with Rollins, you also have to remember Randy Orton's coming back at some point. What are you doing with him? Are you just going to sit there and forget that Randy Orton is going to?
So you think he's
forget-
going to wrestle Rollins at WrestleMania?
I don't know. About
I wouldn't
WrestleMania.
mi- I wouldn't- I
don't
could see
mind
that.
it.
I could see that.
Yeah. Because what
I
are you
really
doing?
could see that.
What are you doing? Randy Orton got hurt because of Rollins. Randy Orton just got, like the character of Randy Orton alone. Is he going to forget that he lost 2-3 months? What are we up to?
I mean, did Brie Bella forget that she lost that match to Nikki
Yeah.
Bella?
I mean,
Slave?
That was a
What?
joke. That's a
What
joke.
if
Good
you
point,
know?
but you see my point. Like with this,
I do.
Roman Reigns.
Randy Orton's character is not the forgive and forget type. He's not going to forget that he lost 3 months of his career because of Rollins. He's going to come back and he's going to seek revenge,
He's still owed a title match too.
and he's still
Just-
owed the title match.
Just think about this for a second. Like, if you were running WWE and you were thinking like them, they have Roman Reigns, who has not looked good and hasn't gotten the greatest response or reaction, and is probably going to get not cheered at all at the Royal Rumble.
Well, he's gonna get booed if he wins so bad.
You
He's
have
gonna get
him.
worse than Rey
You have
Mysterio.
Daniel Bryan, who honestly, at this point, if you think about it, we all love him, but you can't trust the company and a guy to overcome the odds 2 years in a row and walk out with the belt. Really, I mean, it's not really a smart move. They did that and they got burned the whole year. 2014 was a bad year for wrestling. You know why? Because they put it all on Dan Bryan and they got burned and they had nothing else
Because
left.
he got hurt though.
Because he got hurt, but it still happened, and you can't have that happen again. I love Dan Bryan, but you can't. So who's left? Who's going to go? Who could be face and go after it? Randy Orton. That's why I'm saying they're thinking about Randy Orton in the Royal Rumble. I think there's a chance that Randy Orton wins the Royal Rumble. Not a high chance, but there's a chance.
See, the only way I would see that working is if this happens then. Randy Orton wins the Royal Rumble, and Rollins wins the title. Whether it's against the triple threat match or he cuts it off and does it, that makes WrestleMania even more significant because Orton lost his career time because of Rollins. And now it's
I don't know
rematch.
if you can go into WrestleMania with that as the main event. I don't think so.
Well, then what's the main? How long do you think that's
Orton
going to
versus
take?
Brock Lesnar? I think that could main event a WrestleMania.
Could be a good
That
main
would be the
event,
one part.
but I'd rather Daniel Bryan
But I'm
over Randy Orton. I can't see
I-
the WWE fucking.
I would rather
Randy
see
Orton
Brock Lesnar
fucking-
versus Daniel Bryan. But
Yeah.
it's not about what I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
see.
he's-
I want to see Dolph Ziggler get a singles match at WrestleMania. He's never had a singles match at WrestleMania
I agree.
ever in his career. But he's going to be thrown in some battle royal probably. So it's not all about what we want.
hey-
Like I'm trying to think about what is going to happen.
Stephanie McMahon announces Kane is going to face Daniel Bryan on the first ever episode, again, Thursday episode of SmackDown.
The first ever.
Thursday.
First
again.
episode of
Thursday
the
Night
past, like
SmackDown.
4 years, 5 years,
4 more than that.
more than that, right?
Yeah, it's been like 10 years.
Yeah,
At least.
the last time SmackDown was on Thursday. And then Kane comes out, and Daniel Bryan just beats the shit out of Kane.
Which was needed.
But for some reason,
Which is
Kane
needed.
gets an offense,
Yeah.
and no refs come break it up
Yeah,
until Daniel
Bryan
Bryan.
gets his other offense back.
Oh my God, Daniel Bryan's out of control. We got to send the refs out,
Yep.
not Kane.
But you know what though? Daniel Bryan did look good in terms of wrestling. For me, he did the dive
He
through the
was-
road.
I'm sure he was
course.
good like not 6 months ago,
No.
maybe like 3-4 months ago.
It was a lot precautionary.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Paige versus Brie Bella.
Skip.
I'm not skipping this.
Matt?
This was one of the most
Oh,
appealing
wait,
things
Dan
to
doesn't.
watch.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Dan.
This
Go
was
ahead.
a
go
good
ahead.
match. This was a good match.
Really?
Yeah, because it was. You know how much time they gave them? They gave them almost 12 minutes to go on this match. Do you know how many Divas matches you could fill in that time, other than this week? Before you
I
can at
thought-
least fill 6 Divas matches in that time.
I thought you were saying it was a good match because it was like the two girls I want to look at the most. on
Yeah.
the roster.
No.
That's
I'm
it.
talking about like if you look at the match in its entirety, Paige, you know, is a solid wrestler. She's gonna put on a good match regardless. Nikki Bella's always the one that's you're always questioning about. She's in there. She puts on. You can tell she has improved in the ring, whether it be a little bit, whether it be a lot of it, doesn't matter. She has improved. The only thing she's got to do now, be better on the mic because she's god awful on it. But doesn't matter because it's the Divas division. Who gives a shit? But I thought personally the match was not bad for a Divas match for the amount of time they had. I thought it was a good match.
I think it's bad.
I think it was terrible.
Why the fuck was Tyson Kidd there?
Because
He's the
her and-
No, there was no need for Tyson Kidd to be there.
He's the angle.
I understand Natalia being there. I understand her being there. There's no reason for
He was
Tyson
wearing
Kidd
a
to be there.
Bella necklace.
There's a
He was wearing a cat shirt again.
there's a perfect reason
He wears
why
a
he was
piece
there.
of Bella merch every week.
God.
And they think like, yes, he's worn Nikki's hat. He wore a shirt, I think.
They're trying to
Dumb.
promote Total Divas.
It's so bad. I don't understand what's going on.
Over it, done. The Ascensions
Thank
versus
you.
the local athletes.
Oh, please, Jesus.
Can I go in
Iggy
first?
Danny,
Danny, take this.
Can I go in
Danny,
first?
please,
Go.
Danny.
Okay. I have been on the Ascension for the last, since the beginning of this podcast. I have said that the Ascension needs to be up immediately. What they did to them this past week
The week before.
almost ruined them.
The week
See,
before was
hold on.
worse.
Well,
but
hold on. I will actually give the WWE a little credit on this one because I do love the Ascension myself. But you have JBL making fun of them, saying again they're beating up nobodies.
yes, that's
But here's that again. I agree with that because it's weakening the Ascension.
yes.
But my one kind of compliment to WWE was Booker saying these guys did hold the NXT titles for almost a year. 360 something days, I believe. 300 something days it was.
That's about
Definitely.
right.
Something like that, yes.
But he's more of a face announcer.
I know,
Why
I know.
is this going on?
I know, I
Exactly,
get it.
That's what made
You're
me
right.
Like,
But at least they're giving the credit of saying they held the NXT titles for almost a year, and B,
That doesn't
Booker
have
even
any
said,
credit, though, in the
but
Raw roster.
even Booker said himself, they're not the ones choosing their opponents. They're going up against who they're given. I mean, yeah, you had Cole going. Oh, does that mean the Authority likes them?
You
quote
know where,
unquote?
like, I think Booker said, I believe, he's like, I would love to see him versus a real team. Go pick on a
Yes.
real team. Go pick on the Usos or
Yeah.
something like that. Go versus a real team,
listen,
and then see what happens.
squash matches happen.
Of course,
It's
everyone
happened.
gets that. Everyone,
Ryback. It's
No.
happened. Rusev.
That's Ryback who is getting a Goldberg treatment. This is different. This is a team coming
I
up
don't think he
in
was
a
getting
very
Goldberg.
dry
I'm
tag
probably
team
the only one in
roster.
this entire world.
Well, here's the thing.
doesn't-
They need to-
doesn't think Ryback was getting Goldberg.
No, they were Goldberg. Man.
no, but here's
They
the
were
thing. All
Goldberg,
right,
yeah.
so
Every week's
Absolutely.
garbage.
I
but
can
look,
see how, you know, they want to make the Ascension look dominant and then have them go against someone and maybe look a little more dominant, a little even. I can see that. But to like,
It's been 2 weeks.
I know.
but
that-
still,
this has to
the
be the-
first
this
week,
has
the
to be
first
last
week
match.
have them crush jobbers. Then the next, well, actually, we've had 3 weeks of them.
Okay.
We had to beat
they
Miz and Mizdow.
Mizdow. Sorry, they beat Mizdow.
Yes,
But this is it.
Which shouldn't have happened at all.
This should have.
but
This has to be the
why?
last
Where
match.
are Los Matadores? Where are they? One of them's injured or something, right? Or
Sure,
something?
that's why they're not on TV.
Yeah. Okay, so they can't have two faces that. They don't have two like lesser faces right now that can work that.
No, the tag team division's that weak.
Like here's my ultimate problem with them last week, other than them facing Joe and Paul, which is what I'm going to call the two guys that they fought.
Who is Joe?
Um,
Short one.
yeah,
Tall one?
sure.
Sure. Go.
The fact that in NXT, their gimmick as being very dominant guys, and like their image in NXT, to me, is so much different than what they are now.
Of course.
The way that WWE repackaged them
Terrible.
to be on now is awful.
terrible.
They have completely ruined what the Ascension was
Yeah.
in NXT, because they're going just this last promo. They're going off saying they're better than the Road Warriors. They're better than
Because that was off the fans.
Yes, they're better than all that.
They
But
played
they
on
did,
it.
but they
Still.
did this last week, so I think that's just building onto what they're trying to make them a heel team.
Even still, they're saying themselves that they are better than all of them, and yet when they come out dressed as almost the Road Warriors themselves, with the shoulder pads, with the spikes and everything, you're gonna tell me you're gonna be better than them, and yet you're gonna rip them off a little bit?
It's the wasteland, baby. Welcome to it.
Well,
It's bullshit. They're like I said, these writers don't know what they're doing, and they're ruining what is already a good product. Already a good product with the Ascension as they are, and they're completely blowing it out of the water.
what I have to say about that is that they. I lost my train of thought.
All right. Well,
Keep going,
like you
buddy.
said,
Take it over.
the fact that, like, you
I'll
know,
get
you
it
say
back.
when you go back to comparing to NXT, they were real teams. They're not. I mean, they were just better teams to compete with. Now they just really no one to compete with.
Better
I got
teams
it.
to compete with, or they created more teams.
Well, they created more teams and they just had actual teams to compete against. I mean, now it's just a joke.
What Danny was saying about the repackaged is really true, and I think it's really stupid because I feel like nowadays, like, you're gonna have these two guys who are tough and badasses, and they're gonna beat the shit out of you. For them to be like covered in this goofy eye paint,
Yep.
You know what the hell is
Yeah.
that?
this
The
is
Illuminati.
not like this is like these are in NXT. They were just these fucking big guys that are just gonna run you over. And now it's like we're gonna pair ourselves up and wear shoulder pads. Like, that worked back then. That is not now.
Exactly.
That's a gimmicky thing. That is not these tough guys that are gonna kick ass. You don't see Brock Lesnar coming out in shoulder pads and face paint. It's not gonna happen. It's
I agree. I mean, like, they are ruining the Ascension a little bit, but I think
little.
they do have wiggle room to work with it.
I don't think it's much though.
Yeah,
I just
they need to make a
Who
move
knows?
soon. They
Exactly.
Need
They need to get the ball
they
rolling
need to.
now.
They have to, like,
guys,
within the
they've
next 2
only
weeks.
been here for 3 weeks.
No, I know, but within the next 2 weeks, you have to put them against a real team.
Why 2 weeks?
no matter
Because
what.
other
I'm
than
not
that,
gonna.
it's becoming a joke.
I'm not gonna put the nail in their
They're
coffin.
going to lose their impact if you just keep putting up against
Joe
I don't agree with
They
you
should
guys.
do that on SmackDown. When you're on Raw, you should not be having random guys like this on
But
Raw.
again,
That's the
what
main
Gasper
show.
said, though,
Put them
how
on
many
main
times have
event
we seen-
crushing guys.
Yeah, but again, what Gasper said, how many times did we see Ryback come out on Raw when he first came out? And he was fighting 2 or 3 guys, and he's doing the, what do you call it, to them?
So
The-
why isn't
the
Ascension
shot.
facing 2 teams at
You know
once?
what I mean?
2 teams of jobbers.
You know,
I'm sure it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah. Like, he's doing the shell shot.
I'm sorry. This news to everyone in this room is standing up but me and Danny. It's like, are we gonna take a stand to this or? I mean, I know it's a podcast and radio,
We're
but
gonna put Vinny through a table soon, just 'cause
No.
he's just sitting there.
no.
Well, Rusev versus Dean Ambrose.
That was a match.
Sure.
I have to say this before we get into that. I love when Rusev speaks. I love
I do
it.
too.
I love
He
it.
doesn't say much, but he has
He
an impact.
does not
Yeah.
need Lana. He does not.
No.
He put on the longest, best promo. I don't care that he has this accent going. He puts on a great promo, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that, but
No,
I love
completely
it. What he
agree.
says is impactful and it's like meaningful. And I feel like he's saying things that actually make sense.
He
And
basically
works.
shat on Ryback.
Yeah, and I thought it was
Deli,
awesome.
which I work at,
Alright, well,
which I don't want to be
stop
at
sucking.
anymore. Stop sucking.
I thought it was a good
Well,
promo.
you're spineless and you deserve to be fired. Okay?
Yeah, and I liked that Dean Ambrose music hit. I was like, oh shit, like
It was great.
The match itself
the match
was
was
turd,
Was it in a match? It
Turd.
was like a few
Go for
moves here and
stop
there,
it.
and
Turd.
then you stopped it.
No.
turdy turd.
Oh, his leg hurts. Let me
Well,
stop. this
yeah, that
match.
pissed me off a lot.
That was
actually.
really bad.
yeah,
That might piss me off more than Rollins.
It's another thing of Dean Ambrose,
It
man.
takes a lot. It takes a lot to piss you off more than
Yeah,
Rolls.
right?
The story of Dean Ambrose continues. It's just
You
They just
cannot
find new
win a
ways to
match.
make him lose. It's
no,
amazing.
but they feel like it doesn't matter if he wins or not. He's a crazy guy, and people
Everyone's
are
gonna
like,
love him regardless.
I'll agree with that.
I would rather him lose by count out than fucking lose the way he did with the ref stopping the match. I mean, it's just so bad. I mean,
Junk.
yeah.
It was just to preserve Rusev's winning streak.
Of course. I mean, I wasn't expecting Ambrose to come out there and shock the world and do it, but I mean, at least do it in like a realistic way. I mean, his leg hurts. You're gonna stop the match? That's
They
so
had a lot
stupid.
of promos during this evening, so they didn't give a lot of time to the
They
one-on-one
could have
matches.
made him lose by count out. They could have made him lose by DQ. I mean, there was so many other ways you could lose.
Yeah.
You gotta lose because his fucking leg hurts.
Well, I mean,
come on.
they had to hurry it up for the next segment, which was the WWE.
Okay, to
Champion.
DQ.
To Vinny's point, DQ, count out.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I'm saying, like,
Those are quick
they just
ways.
had to hurry it up.
Of course.
Not,
Referee
yeah,
stoppage
don't, never
is
end
the
a,
quickest way.
never end a match by going to the referee.
Well-
Well, his leg hurts. Let's stop this. Because how many times have we honestly
Could have
seen
walked,
that?
man. He could have walked.
How many times have we honestly seen that in WWE or F?
Yeah, I mean,
It's almost never been done where a ref has
how many
stopped the
times are
fight
guys like
Oh,
I mean, Cena was
completely
busted
covered
wide
in blood
open.
and
Yeah.
like crawling on the ground
yeah,
back
and
in
the
day,
ref's
and no
going,
one really cares.
go ahead, come on, get up. Continue.
And he'll
Different
ask, and
times,
he'll
man.
ask.
Different times. Different times.
Yes.
WWE World Heavyweight Championship contract signing.
Woo!
The only
Probably the
part,
best part of the night.
Yeah.
To be honest.
probably the best thing
Yeah.
I've seen on Raw in a few weeks.
What do you guys think?
Loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I liked it.
it was good.
Only issue is,
Pointless. In
you
my
know,
opinion.
I don't know if you know this, but the Royal Rumble's not this Sunday. If I watched that segment, I would say,
Oh,
I think the
Royal
Royal
Rumble's
Rumble's
this
this
Sunday.
Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sold the pay-per-view a week too early.
Yep.
What are they going
Exactly.
to do next week? They're
That's
just going to talk about the
exactly
Royal Rumble?
what I thought of. And I was like, this. They've
That was a
always done a
perfect
contract
way
signing
to
the
go
week
into the
before.
Royal Rumble because you have Seth Rollins, who is probably the most non-believable guy in the match, and you have him basically stand tall, which is the
And
best way to sell.
From what I
a match.
remember, a contract signing is usually always 95%, if not 100%, always the week before the pay per view. Now
Yes,
it's 2
every,
weeks.
Almost.
every time.
I agree. I didn't enjoy that. That it was the. I just didn't enjoy it at all. To be honest with you,
What?
I'm out of it.
You didn't enjoy what at all?
This entire thing, like.
So
No,
you
maybe
loved
a week before. Sorry,
Oh, you didn't
It should've
enjoy the
been
fact that
next
it
week.
was
I
done.
I'm out of it.
Okay. Just what about the curb stomp to
Brock Lesnar, holy shit!
He's so
The guy,
bad.
I don't
He didn't sell it. He fucking took it.
No, I don't care if you hate the guy. He doesn't want to be here.
Doesn't
He
care.
wants to be on his ranch. I don't care. I want to see that. That guy doesn't give a fuck. He will just.
He had a mark
fucking-
on his head after.
Oh,
Yeah, he
I'm
did.
sure he didn't know
He
where the
did.
fuck he was after. You saw his head just like crunch into the mat.
Yeah.
Over.
Like-
Done.
People say John Cena sells the curb stomp good, but I don't like that he goes up with it and
Yep.
then down.
I hate it.
Why would you
And
go
that's went
up
down.
if you're about to go down? I understand he makes it look more, but he protects himself.
Because it looks like
Brock
I
Lesnar
think
did
he,
not give a fuck about protecting
think the reason
himself,
why
and that's
Cena does
I
that-
like him on the roster.
I think the reason why Cena does that is because he looks like he's trying to get up to like move away, and then Rollins pushes him back down. I think that's the only thing. Like, I'm gonna get up and block this, and then no, you're going right back down. That's the only logical thing I think of. But I mean,
My favorite Lesnar moments since he's been back, like this whole run, is
The
when he
curb
takes
stomp.
moves.
Yeah,
Whenever
but-
he takes moves.
that's true.
Like, what was it?
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Show?
If I
Big Show
was
threw
here
him
for,
across the ring and he
if I-
fell on his head. Like, that was crazy.
If
Like,
I was here for 6 months out of the year, not even, maybe 5 months out of the year, I'd take moves hard too. I'd
That's-
sell it as shit.
no, I think
would
that's
sell
just
it as-
him.
No.
I think he's just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm a real fighter. I could take these moves.
No, I think he's more like, well, you're not going to see me for another 3 weeks, so this
Got time
like,
to heal.
this-
I don't
this
think he
headache
thinks that
won't
much.
really be
I
there.
think he's like, well, this is a show, but I'm supposed to have my head hit the mat. I'm going to have my head hit the mat. I think that's just how he thinks,
Well, regardless, Seth Rollins was standing tall at the end of the
which is good.
Which is good.
Which is
Good. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's not a great sign for
it's
him
not
winning the
a
match.
great
but,
sign for him. Exactly.
but
it's not a
I
great
didn't
sign
expect
for him.
him to win the match, and I like that they made him believable. They made him get the upper hand on Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Yeah, he got put through a table before that Brock Lesnar.
Even though he was just offered to join forces with Brock Lesnar, he still did it though. We're forgetting the fact
You
that
saw that happening.
Yeah.
Well,
No
the
way.
promo going and Seth. We got to talk about Seth Rollins completely in that promo. Held his own.
Yeah.
He belonged in the ring. Triple H was there, Cena, Paul Heyman, and he was the star out of all of them. And who would have expected that?
I mean, Triple H didn't say much.
No, he didn't in that segment. No,
He's
but
kind of sure Sarah.
But I gotta say-
there you go.
They're gonna have a hard time topping next week.
Yes.
yeah, I think next week they're going to focus
The
on the
go-home
Royal
show.
Rumble. Think about that because this week, how much did they talk about the Royal Rumble?
That's
There
true.
were a few segments
Dean
about the
Ambrose.
Royal Rumble.
About
if
it.
honestly, without a fan, if I was just like, first time watching fan, I'd be like, okay, there's 5 people in the Rumble. Who's the other like 25 other people?
Well, then they never.
Of course, they never announce it, but for they usually like build it up for a few people, more people.
They're gonna have
being
everyone
in.
in the ring, battling. Raw's gonna go off the air. Oh, what's gonna happen this Sunday? They're all fighting in the ring. That happens every time.
Always.
That's
Well,
vintage.
it's the only way they can do it. So,
So they couldn't do that this week.
they
so
had
they're
it
like,
this
let's
week.
put the contract signing this week.
well, they did it. They had everybody fighting at the end of Raw this week. So I mean,
Yeah,
that
but there's,
really
like,
should have been saved next week.
3
But
people.
anyway,
But yeah.
Well-
the main eventers.
We got. I only see it fitting. Our superstar of the week is Macho Man Randy Savage. Danny, start this off.
I picked Randy Macho Man Savage. At this point in time, he was Randy the King. Randy King Savage. I picked him versus. Excuse me. I had it over here before. I have everything
Come
written down.
on.
Switch. Go.
Taking way too
No,
much
no,
time.
no, Danny, it's your spot. Come on.
The Ultimate Warrior.
It was him versus Ultimate Warrior in the steel cage
You're
match.
welcome.
That's what I had. I was speaking to him earlier. I picked that match. I thought it was. I watched a lot of Macho Man matches lately, and that's the one that I picked because I thought them two in the ring was very good, and the emphasis of the steel cage there, the old steel cage, I thought was awesome. That's my pick for the Superstar of the Week.
Mitch, you?
I'm gonna go with Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man WrestleMania 5, right after the breakup of the Mega Powers. You know what I mean? The tag team. It was just a great match. I mean, Hulk Hogan was already kind of the established kind of guy. Macho Man was still a little bit of upcoming, but still big enough on his own. Just a great match. Showed off a lot of Macho Man's ability in the ring, especially against Hulk Hogan. So, love that match.
Ben?
I'm gonna piggyback off Danny actually, but it's a different match, and it wasn't a pay-per-view match, but it was a title match, and it might have not gotten the promos or TV time for it, but it was in my mind. I actually watched it at work earlier today. And it was a hell of a match. It had everything you wanted. It had quick moves, impactful moves. It had a little bit of interference from Rick Rude at the time, who was just trying to distract Ultimate Warrior as much as he could, but couldn't do it. And just, I mean, it was a cheesy ending, but the way it ended was actually different from nowadays, because I actually learned to say that if someone was on the outside and someone was on the inside, and the guy on the inside tapped the guy and went back in the ring, he still can get counted out. So that's how Macho Man won. So, I mean, just that match had a little bit of everything. It had interference, moves, story. I mean, the crowd was insane. I've never seen a crowd so loud in a long time. I've watching the past, of Superstars matches. They were into it the whole 15 minutes of the match. They were chanting, they were booing, they were crazy about that match. And like I said, it was a very small match. It wasn't a WrestleMania. It wasn't a SummerSlam. It was just a local match at Boston Garden. Now TD Garden, but Boston Garden at the time.
Dan?
I'm gonna go with Macho Man versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 8. Ric Flair, I mean, he was never a really WWE guy. He came, he won the 92 Rumble, which was an awesome Rumble if you go back and watch that. And then he started a feud with Macho Man, and then it was crazy what was going on. Ric Flair was with Mr. Perfect, and they were saying that Ric Flair was with Miss Elizabeth before Macho Man, and they had this whole storyline going on. And I just think it's just two of the greats going at it, and Macho Man won, of course, and I just think it was just it's like a dream match. I mean, two guys who were not wrestling in the same company really for most of their careers. So,
Well, I want to go WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, the big one.
Someone
had to say it.
Randy Macho Man Savage's best match ever
yes.
versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Need I say more?
No.
That was one of his greatest matches of all time.
There's so many moves
I've
in
watched
that
over
match
12
that you've
Macho Man
never
Randy
seen before
Savage's
that.
matches tonight.
We might actually watch that before we leave.
It was
They
unbelievable.
innovated. There were so many moves that you've never seen
never
before
seen
that. You
before.
watch WrestleMania 1, 2, and then you watch that and you're like,
Holy
what
crap.
the hell?
Unbelievable.
There's things that they still use today. And
Even though he lost the match, it was still a fantastic match.
Of course.
Now, we move on to our question of the week,
Oh boy.
which Dan brought up to me when we were out earlier tonight.
Oh.
Who do you
Okay.
guys see headlining the WWE pay-per-view Fastlane?
Fastlane?
Sure.
Wow.
Good luck, guys.
Not the rumored Big Show Seth Rollins versus John Cena Roman Reigns.
I win.
Should I start this off?
Yeah, please. This is your question. so go
it's
ahead.
my question.
Thank
I mean, I can't say that I got a great answer for it. But, I mean, well, you got to go. I'm assuming you got to go with John Cena on that. I would say that. Actually, I'm going to take it a different direction. I'm going to go with Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins at Fastlane as the main event. The title's not going to be there, and I just think that's something that carries over, and I don't think that's going to go into WrestleMania, so I'm saying that's going to happen there. It's going to be a glorified house show, the pay-per-view, so your guess is as good as mine. What do you guys got? It's tough. What are they going to do? There's no chamber, there's no title. What are they going to have going on?
I honestly have no clue on that one either.
It's a stumper, right?
I can't even think of a main event that would be even particular to this one.
I mean,
I'm actually going to go probably at this point just because, again, how much they're pushing Roman Reigns.
Really?
Roman Reigns versus Big Show.
Really? The main event? On last?
I don't see any other feud right now. I mean, think about it. They've already nipped the...
That could happen there. They'll have like if Ryback gets rehired, they'll have the Ryback Rusev.
Yeah,
things like
but
that.
even then, I can't see them pushing Ryback to the main event to that one. I mean, we've already seen the end of the whole Bray Wyatt versus Ambrose, so that's gone. I don't see them really pushing the the Rollins and Orton feud this close. I think that's something we might see at WrestleMania at best. You know, I just think they're going to push the Roman Reigns on this one.
yeah, I still don't know. I'm gonna pull something out of my ass. I mean, I do see Rollins in the main event because there's really nowhere else you can go with it. I mean, you got to put him somewhere near that.
And you don't think he's gonna be in the main event of Mania, right? Rollins.
No.
Okay. That's why I went with him, and that's why I picked Randy Orton because I feel like we can't see
dare
Cena
say-
versus Rollins again. We
Do I
can't see
dare,
that.
do I dare see that?
But my thing with the Rollins,
We can't. Of course we
It's
can't.
every week
But
on
the-
Raw.
but
You
the
can't
Rollins
have pay
fight-
the main
Rollins
event like that.
But here's the thing: the Rollins versus the Orton, I think it's going to be too long of a thing to just go one and done.
Yeah, my pick.
I think if you're going to do Rollins and versus Orton because of the injury caused by him, it's something you have to continuously do, like at least 2-3 months.
That's
You know what I mean?
ultimately the problem when you come to that.
That could be interference.
From
they don't
the-
get.
That's why I think
Rollins,
it's not going to
Cena.
do that.
From now
That's
on,
it.
we have a
That's my pick. I don't know.
every 3
What,
weeks.
you going?
Rollins,
So
Cena's.
every pay per view is just going to feel like an extended Raw.
Yeah.
Especially this one. This is
There's no.
Well, this one
because
obviously
this
we
is the
know
only pay per view that
no one's really gonna.
when when we're
cares?
watching the Royal Rumble, the whole time they're talking about a pay per view 2 pay per views away.
Yeah.
This is the only time that happens. They usually talk about what's going on or the next pay per view. No. That's why back in the day they didn't have anything. Like really old school. They didn't have anything, and I think that may be the
Unless
better route.
any of you see Daniel Bryan in the main event at Fastlane.
No, I think it's a little too early for that.
I don't know.
I mean, everything's too early, but who else are you gonna put in the main event?
Well, I mean, story-wise, it's just I think it's too early.
Wait.
Danny's still
Danny's going?
Yeah.
All right, Danny.
I don't know if you guys are ready for this,
Oh.
but seeing as how it's a pay per view based on a NASCAR,
Oh,
Oh, this is going hardcore.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh,
Jeff
shit.
Gordon's coming.
I think the main event is going to be Trevor Murdoch and Lance Cade versus Florida Georgia Line because they've had them on the show a bunch of times and they've tried to wrestle.
Larry Cable
That
guy.
just-
That is how I
Book
think
it.
the creative is going to go.
Larry the Cable guy is
That
special
just
guest
shows you
referee.
how much confidence I have in the
I
creative.
honestly think they're gonna go back the Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins feud.
How do you go back to that?
Well,
Easy.
it's not a far stretch because they have been teasing Ambrose and Authority or against
Have
again.
Seth Rollins
So-
try to cash in at Royal Rumble. Have Dean Ambrose interfere in it, as he did the previous.
That's
feud.
As he's promised,
But why
he
would you have-
until he doesn't have that briefcase?
why would you have Dean Ambrose interfere in it when you have Randy Orton probably come back at the wrong? Why wouldn't Randy Orton interfere in it? Because Randy Orton's the last one that's
Yeah, I think
destroyed by
Ambrose
the
has
Authority.
more
Really,
of
I
a
mean,
reason to interfere with Rollins than Randy
Well,
Orton.
yeah, but Randy Orton got put out by the
Yeah, I was
Authority.
about to say for 3 months we haven't
It
seen
is.
anyone.
Technically,
Yeah,
I mean, Ambrose hasn't really gotten his full revenge, but he's gotten his opportunity. Like you just said, Orton's looking for his friend. I mean, obviously the most logical thing is Dan's answer, whereas Orton versus Rollins.
I
but
think that'd be just too.
But
I mean,
that's
I don't
too
think they're not
rushed.
going to go back to Cena Rollins.
it doesn't have to end in a clean finish, and there could be a lesser match on the
Which is my
WrestleMania
pick,
card
but-
with a stipulation or something like that. You know what I mean?
I pick Cena Rollins. I mean, I just really don't know where else to go. I mean, Reigns and Big Show is it like
That's terrible.
It's
though.
a
Cena
terrible,
Rollins.
obviously
terrible.
no.
Don't get me wrong.
No,
it's a
do you
terrible
think I
main
want
event,
that?
but-
None of us in this room want that main event, but I really don't know where else to go.
Because-
the main event for
Well, come on,
WrestleMania.
mine was the absolute worst pick, but I think
Oh,
that's
I
what
mean,
they're going
just,
for.
just this is the pull event.
And
This
then
is
just
the pay-per-view that
the
they
whole
pulled
point of
out
the
of
question was to bring about like
bad this
I
was
understand
gonna
like
be.
I'm excited for the Royal Rumble, but it's like what is this thing that's going to happen like 4 weeks after the Rumble? What is that going to do?
Can we skip talking about that one when it comes out? Because it's going to be garbage.
It's
no,
going to
no.
be mid-card feuds. And it's going to
It
be
really
like
is.
It's gonna be a house show. You put it correctly in our text message
really
the other
is.
night. It's gonna be a house show.
Yep.
but really like why not just bring back No Way Out and just call it No Way Out?
This
Well, I mean, is there
Fastlane sounds cool.
really a difference?
Because they're trying to build up.
I'd rather have an elimination chamber over everything.
Yeah, but you can call it No Way Out. It's a neutral name, just like Fastlane. It's not giving a gimmick to a match like Elimination Chamber because they don't want to have one.
I
But
agree. I think if they'd be like, "Oh, new way out, No Way Out's coming back," like
Wait.
P would be like, "Oh wow, they're
Now
gonna do
what-
something cool with this."
Oh,
You
wow,
have to
let me
think
see
about
how much
that.
This is gonna suck.
the main event of Fastlane, the main event of Fastlane
I think it'd be cool.
has to put something on the line for the main event of
'Cause it's
WrestleMania.
the first pay per view of
It-
Fastlane.
No, because why else are we gonna watch it? There's the Royal
That's
Rumble,
what I'm
that,
saying.
and then WrestleMania. somebody's title shot, somebody's Rumble win, somebody's something has to be on the line. They get in the match at WrestleMania. If they win, there
Money
has
in the
to be
Bank.
something. There has to be something.
Reigns versus Rollins versus Dean Ambrose in a triple threat for the
No,
But they're
I want
brothers.
to see the Florida
Brother.
Georgia line though.
What do you call him? Brother. When
Brother.
the card came up.
Brother.
Brother.
Hate everything in life.
Ho.
What are we going to do in February, man?
We're gonna have less to talk about than anything.
Doing a lot of drugs during this
A
pay-per-view.
terrible, terrible match. We're gonna have to drink.
We're going to have to buy more beer. I was
Yeah,
gonna say
a lot
that.
more
I mean,
beer.
A lot more.
It's gonna be.
A lot more beer and a lot more Jack. Especially more Jack.
It's gonna be a ride. Oh, hey, we made it to episode 10. That's something, right?
I'm proud of that.
10.
I'm very happy with that.
I mean, we've been doing this for 10 weeks in a row. I'm very proud of that.
That's more than I thought we've ever would have done.
Oh no,
WrestleMania.
Danny! Wait, no.
Oh wait, yeah, we forgot.
We gotta give Danny a spot.
Danny's shipping off to Boston.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. This week I haven't been on in the last few weeks due to
Stop kicking the table.
working and other bullshit. But this week is going to be my last week for a long time. So I would like to say thank you, gentlemen, for listening to my bullshit. And hopefully I will see you, gentlemen, on this podcast when I get back.
I think we could work out something, but
Oh, maybe.
maybe we can do like a little.
I'll come back
What
on
is
the
he,
Brock
The Rock
Lesnar
via
deal where
satellite?
where I come in and
Yeah, we're gonna sign Danny to the Brock Lesnar deal.
I come in and
once
do a
every few months.
podcast
Major
once
pay-per-views
every
a
3
year.
months.
Yeah, we'll sign him for the Rumble, for WrestleMania,
Rumble, WrestleMania,
Survivor
Survivor
Series, and
Series,
SummerSlam.
Or
That's
the
it.
Raw that I was at in Brooklyn. Roman Reigns via satellite, even though he was backstage and
I was there
recorded.
too. Well, actually,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
three of us
Yeah,
were
yeah,
there.
we were all there.
That's
That's
there,
right.
yes.
I don't want to forget that.
Junk.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening to Under the Ring Radio. It's episode 10.
10.
That's 10.
And
WrestleMania
means?
10. You know what that was? New York.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Do you know what it means now, in this day and age? Last week is episode 9. Next week's episode 11. Oh shit. You guys get that?
No.
Either. Thanks again to our friend Chucky Madness for writing this theme song that plays at the beginning of this thing.
Well, you said this, so it made me think it was coming on now. So you tricked me.
Maybe we should put it on.
Well, it's too late
Play
now.
2 times in a row.
You tricked me there. You're like this. I'm like, I don't hear anything.
Alright, well, the theme
I mean, the
song-
real. Let's be honest. Okay.
Good night.
I mean, let's be honest. The secondary theme song tonight was Limp Bizkit Rollin'.
That is true. That
That's
did happen.
that's
Thank you,
real.
Fred Durst,
He's
for
back.
writing
Fred
that
Durst.
song.
He's back, bitches.
He is back. You can follow Chucky Madness on YouTube or on the Twitter at Chucky Madness with 2 E's instead of a Y. That's
Oh,
2 E's. So it's like
I like it that way anyway.
CKEE.
not like
Madness.
the like
No,
Chucky,
like-
like the horror killer little doll,
Or
right?
the guy from Rugrats.
Oh, okay.
Or the mouse from the Chuck E. Cheese commercial.
That one too.
Well,
Actually,
that's 2 E's.
That's too easy. I'm sorry, you're right.
That is.
Oh, it's a good one.
Oh.
They should use that from now on. You can
This
follow
is-
him-
That was a little cheesy.
Oh. You can follow him on Twitter and YouTube at Chucky Madness. You can follow us on Facebook at Under the Ring Radio and Under the shit, fuck me, right?
You don't even know where we're at,
I don't
dude.
even- what
Do you
year
remember
is
the
it?
number? I think I can. I can think of it in my head.
YouTube at Under the Ring Radio. Vinny's hurrying me up because
I'm not hurrying up.
he wants to go to sleep.
No, I don't.
Got work tomorrow morning. And you can follow us on Twitter at Under the Ring 1. Why the 1? Because we are the only one that matters.
I'm off tomorrow, by the
Except
way.
when Vinny has to go to bed.
I'm off tomorrow, so shut up.
Night, night.
No, I'm off.
Look how he's defending himself. Have a good night, guys.
I hate you all.